Welcome everybody to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show. Set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through Musicbed.com, and we use Bardly to distribute it amongst ourselves. Very fun. I'm going to turn it over to Stefan to share a few facts about our partners before we get started for tonight.
Oh, geez. Oh, bad. I'm not ready for this. Never mind, I am. First up, we've got our partners, starting with Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a TTRPG publisher creating new worlds in the Cypher system and beyond. Their current focus is Foxfire, a science fiction tabletop role-playing game with a strong emphasis on high adventure and fun, full throttle action, where you, yes you, play as anthropomorphic animals who left Earth behind long ago and take their place among the stars. For as little as $3, you can become a member through their website and gain early access to this developing TTRPG in each of the worlds they create. Next up, we've got Eddie Yorke. He is our character artist. He is an illustrator based in the United Kingdom who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. That's EYORKE.com. And then we've got 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for Dungeons & Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean has used their non-player character cards to create some fun, memorable, and interesting characters for this campaign. If you use the code paradiceprod at checkout, you can get 10% off your entire order. We've got recaps on our Discord. You can find in the links. They're not up to date, but if you ask for me specifically, just tag me in general chat. I'll come and explain everything to you. We'll hop in the chat, and I'll just talk and talk and talk. Actually, my fiance the other day said to me, "Do you ever get tired of hearing your own voice?" And I said, "No, I tune it out." So that tells you a little bit about me. That's where Jacquette gets it from. That's actually more of a Stefan trait than a Jacquette trait. But you can also find us on Bluesky, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, Instagram, and TikTok. So we'd love to see you there.
For some reason, the commands aren't working. So you can find it in the video description once we get the VODs updated. I'll have to check on our command account. Remember what it is.
No, they're not working.
Interesting.
I didn't believe you at first.
Thought I was just putting it in wrong.
I did it. I mean, you said it, not me.
We will, once Shannon's back next week, we'll ask her to check in on it since she set them all up. Anyway, let's jump into our recap for today.
Jump in.
Jumping in. Last we left off, Iron and Mana had returned from their parley with the ascendancy of Aradun, the Aradunai, and they discovered that there was a protest of sorts, or a near riot, one could say, forming in front of the Admiralty Court at the gate. Ever curious, of course, not just because they're curious individuals, but because they are vying for the heart of Hyven. Our heroes go to visit to see what's up. When there, they find a smattering of individuals, not really with any leader, with not necessarily a coherent message, just expressing dismay at the Admiralty Court, the upper city. Commodore's guards looked like they were close to escalating, so our party intervened. After speaking with one of Jacquette's spies from his establishment, who informed them that they are riled up over a publication from Mr. Greaves in the paper. Jacquette, of course, does his thing, performs on top of the carriage, and begins to debate Obert, the
verbally spar
with Obert, the the bouncer from the Otter Business, who is one of Mr. Greaves' employees, who was clearly agitating the crowd beforehand. particularly talking about what was good for Hyven, what is good for the lower city, ultimately dispersing the crowd and defanging them in the moment. Fyrn, having known Obert and frequented the Otter business, tried to catch up with him before he left and tried to convince him that Mr. Greaves is not the answer to the grievances of Hyven. Obert kind of seems to express that he understands where Fyrn's coming from, but indicates that Mr. Greaves is the one with all the power right now, king of the hill, and he seems to be aligning himself with the powers that be in that sense. The party continues on to go speak with Emile Ducant, the governor's man in the Commodore's offices, who seems to be, for lack of a better way to put it, running the show when it comes to the Admiralty Court, since there isn't really a cohesive leader now that the Commodore has kind of abandoned Hyven. In their conversations, they discuss how to take on Mr. Greaves, how to approach an election that Mr. Greaves is forcing, through an announcement in the paper that he would hold elections earlier than planned and exclude the Admiralty Court, sort of pointing at them as the enemy of the people of Hyven. So they discuss several tactics, particularly sharing of information. Ducant is going to try to acquire some of the information the Commodore left behind that the party may not be privy to. While Fyrn is to meet with the captain of the guard at some point to try to discern their loyalties and convince them to aid Iron and Mana. But they leave this knowing that there is a proper alliance between them and Ducant. Ducant may be of, neutral background. He is the governor's man, but he seems to be a good man and interested in protecting Hyven. The party splits up at this point, with Jacquet retreating to his establishment to write a response to Mr. Greaves' publication in op-ed, writing his own. Fyrn goes to the Widow's Ward to check out the conditions, while Septimus and Bruce go to the Academy to speak with Sigil and Lucas. While at the Academy, our science bros discuss the concept of a Seneschal of the Hells, something that Fyrn had shared with Septimus from the infernal scroll that they acquired back in Stormbreaker Landing. Lucas said he would research it, but Sigil specifically told them what he knew and that he would take personal interest in this, given that it is of planar importance. Before this, they did find Sigil teaching a little class to some of the children of the Academy, utilizing the elemental raccoons the party had defeated, and relocated or rehabbed at the Academy. They also let Sigil know that there seems to be some kind of fiendish connection with Mr. Greaves. Bruce particularly shows Sigil the lockbox, or the gift box, that Mr. Greaves had given to Jacquet to try to track him, as well as discussing the Aradunai in their ascendancy ritual. Fyrn, when he goes to the Widow's Ward, finds that it is a bustling market now, and seems to be almost turned into the sole fruitful market of the city, as Mr. Greaves seems to be reallocating dock shipments to his own district. But specifically, he sees Torcal there, the flea market scrapper that the party met long ago. Learned a lot about the dynamic of the Widow's Ward, the restrictions, as well as the rules placed on the merchants by Mr. Greaves and his organization. Fyrn offers up his lighthouse fort as an alternative, since Torcal doesn't seem happy with having to sell his wares in the Widow's Ward. Torcal is excited about this and takes him up on the offer, and also tells him to let his friends know that he has some special goods that have come in through the De Leon brothers that might be particularly interesting to them. Speaking of the De Leon brothers, Fyrn stops by their establishment where they've set up a little wooden gatehouse and antagonizes the guard there, leaving a bit of a veiled threat, I would say, because they would not meet with him. Later that evening, the party retreats to their individual establishments or forts or temples. Although Bruce decided tonight that he would stay at the Gloveless Cat, Jacquette's establishment. Here they have a brief conversation over a drink that results in Bruce sending a sending spell to Fiora Bendega to see if she's even alive, to try to discern if the ascendancy of the Ardunai ascendancy even has any leverage in their discussions here. He has to bypass some sort of anti-magical force, but is able to get in touch with her and confirm that she's alive, but she seems skeptical, perhaps a little too downtrodden in her imprisonment, thinking skeptically of why Iron Man even cares about her given the ending of their relationship prior. But nonetheless, he goes to bed as Jacquette enjoys a nightcap with Orin, discussing the state of Hyven. Everyone retreats to their own bed chambers, as in the middle of the night, a shadowy figure, a fiendish shadowy force, comes to each member of Iron and Mana, except Bruce, who is magically concealed by the establishment's abilities. The Septimus awakes, hears the force enter his space. Fyrn and Jacquette are not so lucky and take a shadowy dagger to the chest each. Jacquette, unfortunately, does not share the high constitution of Fyrn and is killed almost instantly, whereas Fyrn awakes to rise to battle, all of which ends when Septimus, identifying this fiendish figure, utilizes the domain of his temple to cast pillars of light down upon each of the shadows, destroying them instantaneously. But it's too late. Jacquette is bleeding out in his bed, alone, as we go through the process, and he fades away. Dead. Legitimately dead. This is where we left off. Quiet night, as Jacquette slips away from his body, his soul leaving it. The rest of the party, well, Bruce is fast asleep. Septimus and Fyrn, on the other hand, have just survived their altercation. What do the two of you do after, well, Fyrn, you see a pillar of light pierce through your fort and destroy this shadowy figure. Septimus, you feel the power of your magic destroying this creature.
Kind of like with a feel the rush of Enduralon, Septimus would just kind of just cast the light into the room, just kind of like paranoid, just like she just illuminates it. She's just like on edge, just like looking around, making sure that everything's gone, kind of breathing heavy, like, and I'm sure he sees that everything is.
Yep,
okay.
your detect good and evil is still up, so you see no traces of fiendish or otherwise magical forces other than your own.
And I did see that, like the other beam coming down.
Yes, you would have noticed light outside of the main, because the way I imagine the second floor of your temple is or this private quarters, is that it's like a long room that has like a big circular, like stained glass window at the end, and you would see the reflection of other beams of light coming from through that window. At the very least, you would presume that there are other forces around within your domain that were affected.
Yeah. Then with that, seeing that everything's here, kind of coming to the conclusion, there was some danger otherwhere. He's gonna try to find his compatriots, but first he's gonna Sal, activate.
Sal comes online.
We need to make sure that everybody is all right. As he'll just beg him to come on, as he'll run out the door and You said I saw it from the lighthouse, Jaquette's place, and the academy.
Yeah.
In relation to me, which is the closest? Again, is it the lighthouse?
The closest is the Lighthouse District, yeah.
Then I would go.
Pull your mic a little closer to you. You're cutting out again. It is.
I went to the lighthouse.
It is a distance thing. You're too far away.
Yeah,
from
I know. I mean, yeah.
Good rule of thumb
yeah.
is to try to be like 8 to 10 inches from your mic.
Testing. Okay,
You're good. Fyrn, what are you doing at this time?
Similarly, Fyrn is, in a state of panic. He already screamed "intruders" to, the entire fort. He's going to, just scream and get like the attention of like one of his, soldiers, and then command two of my people, to go check on the temple and the bar, while I get ready for battle. So I'm just like putting on my armor, and then I think after that I will head to and then whoever's left is just there to like check the fortress and make sure there aren't any more of them. Once I've confirmed that the fortress is secure, I would most likely head towards the gloveless cat, because it's closest.
Yeah. I imagine it's gonna take a little while for your soldiers and you to fully sweep the fort as the largest base. But your two runners, based on distance, probably honestly make it to the gloveless cat just like a moment after Septimus arrives. So like,
I would be checking my basement first, as that's where the stuff that I would be most concerned about is.
No investigation check necessary. The fort is secured. It seemed to be the sole threat within your walls.
Okay.
But Septimus, you get to the gloveless cat, where it is. The windows are all dark. There's no lights in there. Yes.
No, I went to the lighthouse.
Oh, you're going to. Okay, so the gloveless cat is on the way to the lighthouse.
So
Okay.
Yeah. I was whatever the.
Sorry,
closest
I
was.
meant in my head I meant the lighthouse district is closer than the academy. Yeah,
Oh,
but no, the
yes.
establishment is closer.
Then yes, that is where I would be.
Perfect. Check one thing.
You'd probably run into Ukal, the dwarf sorcerer.
Yes, you would see two of Fyrn's followers has arrived just as you're kind of like stepping up to it. Outside, there's it's a cold night, colder than normal. There is sort of this very, very light snow flurry in this late winter snow flurry, but with pretty severe winds now billowing up around you. The stars are all clouded now by the clouds above. It's almost disconcerting just because of the fact that you were all attacked by a shadow demon to see no stars out. But the Fyrn's followers recognize you. They know who you are, so they just sort of give you a nod. In essence, like, lead the way. You're much more powerful than us.
Well, yes, but seeing them for the first time is like, I've been attacked in my own dwelling. Is Fyrn okay?
Fyrn is good. He's sweeping the fort right now to check to make sure there's no other threats there, but he's okay.
Follow behind closely. I don't see any signs or any noise from Jaquette's here. Hopefully you took care of it and went back to bed.
Okay, how do you enter the facility? But that may mean you're
I
jumping
know.
in, being like, "We're here," or like,
Yeah, no,
are
I
you-
understood the question. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly I would do.
Yeah, think about if you didn't know what actually happened.
No, yeah, I would just go charging right through the door.
Okay,
Front
so
door.
I imagine like the door just goes kind of slams open.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Oren didn't lock up before he went to bed?
That's actually a very good point. This is a pretty thorough establishment. The door is locked. Oren would have locked it up. So I imagine, Septimus, maybe you go to open the door and it doesn't open, and like you don't even like say anything. Sal's already like lining up to slam into the door.
He'll pound on it first before he
I don't
goes
have
knocks it
insurance.
down.
Okay,
He'll
so
just
as
pound
you're
on it.
that wakes
I know
up.
that I
that
know
will-
Bruce would be.
Yeah, that will
There,
wake up
right?
Bruce. You know, typically, not every night of the week, but often if it's a late enough night, Oren also stays. But Oren does occasionally leave because he does have his own place.
But he'll shout out, "Just quiet, Oren, Bruce, anybody in there?"
Bruce, this would wake you up finally.
Looking out his window, like Bruce like looks at. Yeah, what's up?
It's
Bruce,
just an open window. It's like, hey,
Why are you knocking?
are you all
Why are you
right?
knocking at this ungodly hour? Yeah, I'm fine.
I was attacked. I presume
You
that
were
you
what?
are as well. I was attacked in the night. Some shadowy figure.
Oh,
I was able to stop it. Where's Jaquette?
I think he's just sleeping downstairs. I'll go check on him. It said it was just still locked out, but Bruce is gonna go check on.
yeah. Jacquette, do you lock your door when you go to bed at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured
Well,
you
it's
would.
the office door that's
Yeah.
locked.
Yeah, your door. Yeah, your general area is the front door of it is
Yeah.
locked. So Bruce, you get down there, same thing. The door's locked.
Good thing I know how to use thieves' tools.
That's true. You do.
You also could knock.
He's like, I don't got time for that.
I would actually knock first. Hey, Jackie. Jaquette. Bruce like turns on his like goggles.
Mhm.
Can I perceive like any sort of details about it?
Jacquette, remind me the dimensions of this space.
So each room, so there's the doorway,
Mhm.
and then it opens up into a 10 by 15 foot
Mhm.
room. That's the office with the chimney in the middle on the
Mhm.
right hand as you open up, and then the doors in the back leads into, and it's another 10 by 15 space.
Okay, so exactly enough space for your blind sight to,
Or
your
maybe
tremor
10 by
sense.
10 even.
Your tremor
But
sense.
it's small. It is small.
Yeah, so as you put on your tremor sense goggles, I would ask you for a quick perception check for details, but the very first thing you see is Jacquette in his bed.
14.
Yeah, I'll say that's enough to discern the, especially if you sit there and focus for a second, it takes you a moment to really get the full visual, but he's not breathing.
Oh, okay.
Like there's no stirring, his chest is not rising. And it's like as you notice that is when you notice that there's some blood.
Yeah, I'm just gonna immediately. Well,
Bruce!
Bruce is gonna just quickly message down to Septimus. Something's wrong with Septimus. Or sorry, Jacquette.
Open the door!
How far away is Septimus from me?
What are the dimensions of the bar area, Jacquette?
Let's go with 40 by 20.
Yeah, I figure. So, yeah, I mean, you know where Septimus is. You can hear where he's across the room from you.
But is he within 90 feet of me?
Septimus, yes.
I'm gonna vortex warp him into the room with Jaquette.
Oh wow.
Septimus, do you let this happen?
Hold on, and
Snap.
that's a Bruce messages to Septimus.
Yes.
At this point you're familiar with the like the upside down turning of your stomach that is the preamble to a vortex warp.
Yeah.
Ukal and the other follower outs are like, oh, as Septimus just vanishes. But Septimus, you reappear inside Jacquette's bedroom where you can you bring up the light, and the first thing you notice when the light is the glistening reflection of the pool of blood that is filling Jacquette's bed.
No.
You right? Bruce is like picking the lock at this point.
Septimus would slow, like, just look around the room, see that nobody's there. As I go to unlatch the door.
Oh,
Open it.
thank you.
He's dead. As I turn around and walk closer to over his body.
All right. Bruce just looks at Septimus. What do you need?
Diamonds.
Do you have any?
I should. I do. But do I have enough?
Don't you have like a blessing from your guardian every day?
Shh, I know that. I do. I was just checking.
The whole like establishment is sort of like shaking with the wind outside, as there's beginning to be kind of like this lightning strikes outside in the snowstorm.
Septimus will turn around quickly, head to the front door to unlock the front door.
Oh, okay. Not doing anything now.
Come in quick.
The two followers come inside.
Light the lamps. Check every hall. Still could be something lingering. Bruce, do you see anything with your senses? So at this point, I think Septimus probably would have lost detect evil and good, and he'll do it again
Yep.
to sweep the room.
I'm
make sure
also
there's nothing lingering.
I'm gonna take a quick lollipop, and cast what's it called? The thing that gives me advantage.
Enhanceability.
Enhanceability. And then I'm going to do a perception check.
Perception check. Okay, give me that perception check.
Me as well.
No, you don't need to do one because you're using detect good and evil.
Only 17.
And what are you're just looking for evidence of breaking and entering, that kind of thing?
I was looking for any sort of presence that is maybe currently there. I don't. Bruce doesn't,
because you don't know what's going on. Yeah. So Bruce, you, especially considering you don't know what happened, the place is eerily exactly how it was when you went to bed. Like there's just not a single sign of breaking and entering, no sign of struggle, no sign of a fight at all. There's just like as if a ghost came in and stabbed him in the chest and killed him. Septimus, with your detect good and evil, you don't find any traces of the presence other than Jacquette's wound in his chest still has some trace fiendish shadow lingering.
Oh God. Would I suspect that? Actually, you know what? Fuck, I'm not even gonna play around. Once he's done a sweep, he'll go to Jacquette's body, kind of orient him so he's a little more dignified. Then focusing on the wound, he will cast a spell magic level 5 first.
Okay. Whatever trace was there evaporates. And like even like like there's a physical representation of this. Like there's literally almost looks like steam comes off of Jacquette's chest as this fiendish magic dissipates.
Okay.
While he's doing this,
Mhm.
can I just quickly message Fyrn?
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
are you okay?
Yeah, where am I at this point?
You're finishing. I would say at this point you've finished the sweep of your fort and are like just about to leave the fort to go to the establishment.
Bruce, I was attacked. The fort's secure. What's going on?
I guess you'll know the charge. Jacquette's dead. Get over here.
I'm on my way.
It'll only be like 5 or so minutes before he arrives. You
During that
have-
time, Septimus is setting up his incense and
Mhm.
and stuff to perform what he needs to do.
Yeah, so I imagine Fyrn would see Ukal outside of
Yeah.
the gloveless cat, and he's still not in. So Fyrn would just break down the door.
Oh no, they let them in.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. You would actually notice probably Ukal outside with a lantern, like kind of like waiting for you.
In that case, yeah, he's just gonna head in, grit his teeth, preparing for the worst, and group up with everyone. Damn it! What the hell was that?
What's what?
An agent of Mr. Greaves, no doubt. What else? A pointed attack on all 4 of us?
I wasn't a
Or
Bruce, you would probably know at some point that Jacquette had, maybe even a little drunkenly, been like, yeah, whenever people stay here, I can just kind of hide them from magical or non-magical detection. I think I'll just do it and not tell anyone about it. For fun. Because I'm fun like that.
You actually remember it in this moment because it was so stupid when Jacquette said it that you thought he was lying.
Wow, he was telling the truth. I didn't know Koboko could do that.
Not
Actually,
Koboko.
I did not.
That was Jacquette magic.
Yeah.
Don't push me away. I'm dead.
Sean, while Septimus is prepping everything,
Yes.
look at the group. Do you want me to board off this area? Privatize this for us? From any sort of scrying eye?
Seems smart.
I'm gonna cast.
Actually, wait, a scrying eye?
Yeah.
How far? Michael doesn't remember scrying eye. You can move it, right?
No.
No.
You can't move a scrying eye.
Scrying eyes are fixated.
Fixated. Okay, then never mind. Yes. Then go ahead.
I'm gonna cast Private Sanctum.
Ooh.
Within the entire room of where Jacquette is. It takes me 10 minutes to cast.
Fyrn is just going to basically run through the same security measures as he did in the fort. Check every room, see if there was anybody else in the gloveless cat tonight.
Yeah.
That might have, been involved, looking for the same things, Bruce was looking for, like ways of entry.
No perception check needed. It's exactly like I said to Bruce. Although you were a little bit more aware, eerily untouched, and it was just Bruce and Jacquette here tonight. Private Sanctum's a fun spell.
That is.
Yeah, and he'd probably get back in time for the magic to start working.
Also, I imagine when Bruce is going around, one of Septimus's lackeys, Bruce, you look at. Get one of Jacquette's favorite bottle of wine and something he likes to eat, and bring it upstairs to his room.
You mean Fyrn's lackeys?
Oh yeah, Fyrn's lackeys. Yeah.
They do it. Although they are like, what the fuck?
What is it?
It's like the two of them. The two of them go and like start looking in the kitchen. They're like, we don't really. What about that? What about that party he had? What did he really like at that party he had?
Remember the label? They had like.
Why were we at the lackey table? We didn't even get to see anything that they like.
Pick any bottle.
Although they're like thinking back because Jacquet did stay up and partied with the followers, so they do settle upon something they think he would like based on that night.
They go for whatever's on the highest shelf. As long as they tell Jacquet it's expensive, he'll enjoy it more.
I love the idea of Jacquet not knowing what's expensive on his bar shelf and just someone telling him that. Yes, but you're able to get this private sanctum up. They return with whatever food they could scrap together that didn't require cooking, and a bottle of gin from the kitchens, as Septimus is, I imagine, laying out the last of his ritual.
Yes.
Okay, so this is as we did with the Septimus resurrection that was beyond revivify, we will do the resurrection ritual here. Even though we're using the wish spell just gets the spell off without a spell slot and no material costs.
The divine intervention.
That's what I meant. I meant divine intervention. Sorry.
If we had a wish spell.
Yeah, the wish spell you wouldn't have to do
Don't waste
anything.
it on me.
Yeah.
Do something cool with it.
True resurrection and wish bypass the need for any of that.
I wish this never happened, and by that I mean I never met Jacquet.
Somehow the story happens exactly the same. They just replace Septimus in it with a different farmer.
Turns out you were the unimportant one.
As long as I'm happy.
So just like we did with Septimus when he was resurrected with a raise dead spell, because I'm assuming that's what you're using here.
Yes, divine intervention, raise dead. So he lays his hands over the wound and begins to slowly channeling and giving off some vocal words.
Vocal words.
Like the like with Septimus, at least 3 of you can offer up some sort of offering to help pull Jacquet's soul back to the body. That has some kind of like skill attached with it. Whether that's like we did with Septimus, I don't remember everything, but I remember Bruce offered something that was part of their shared artificing. Fyrn, I don't remember. You did offer something, Fyrn, but I don't remember what it was. So you can do anything for this, and it lower if you successfully make the offering, it lowers the resurrection DC.
Does it have to be directly tied to Jacquet again, or is it just any offering?
It could literally be anything. It's the kind of thing where you make an offering and it will determine a DC for you to roll a skill attached to it. So like maybe it's just like a religion check from you, Septimus, because you are doing the ritual itself and want to beseech more from it, or it could be Fyrn offers up a
I just yell into his face really
something
loud.
in service to Machina or something, or Bruce just offers up something sentimental between the two of them, or something that connects them.
I'll offer and place on top of him the guardian emblem that I have.
Okay. You can go ahead. What ability check would you like to make with this? You could do a religion check. You could do a wisdom check.
Religion.
Okay.
Probably. Oh boy.
What'd you get? Want to give yourself guidance?
Yes.
I only allow Septimus to do post roll guidances, given his proclivity to bad rolls. Oh, well, what was it? What was it?
It was a 12.
Oh, okay. No, you pass. You didn't have a particularly
It's just 10.
hard.
Oh, okay.
It's not always 10. Depends on what the
Okay.
offering is. But
Got it.
for you, for this is you're also offering material for this, which I think is magical material. To me, is helpful in these things for getting a more achievable DC for it.
Result.
Yeah, so that means that the DC is lowered by 3 for the ritual to resurrect him. Now, this is Jacquet's second time being resurrected, which means that the DC went up by 1. Now, granted, the other resurrection was a divine resurrection, but this is...
Revivify.
No, I'm talking about when Eyeless resurrected you.
Yeah. Wasn't that? Oh, that was a resurrection, not a revivify.
Well, no, I guess you're right because it was instantaneous. So I'll take that argument. It was a rapid resurrection, not a resurrection ritual. So it didn't have the effect on your soul. So it is still 10. It's now 7. So the other two can offer. This one will add 1 to your resurrection DC for the next time this happens.
Sean, could I possibly use, being stabbed by presumably the same weapon, considering the wound that, hit him was like the same wound that hit me?
Oh yeah, you all notice like blood like coming out of like the corners of Fyrn's mouth, and like occasionally he's like, oh, as there's
it's been a while. I could have used second wind a few times. I'm probably okay.
But what were you gonna say?
But I was thinking I did feel the effects of a strong poison from that thing, so perhaps I could use one of those antitoxin potions that I didn't use to kind of like, I know it won't bring him back to life, but perhaps it'll, heal his body, which will make it easier for the soul to return.
To it. It's an interesting idea. Septimus, what is your spellcasting? You have plus.
Attack?
No, sorry, I would realize it's spellcasting ability check, so it would be your wisdom. So you have 20 wisdom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have that plus 5. The only reason I'm saying this is like you guys may not need to do more offerings if Septimus is like, I'm like, of course one more offering would secure you against the nat 1 from Septimus.
It's always a possibility.
Yeah, because he could still technically fail this with a 1 or a 1. He'd have to get a nat 1 to fail it.
Did I mention I'm a halfling, actually?
So, Fyrn, do you want to make this offering?
Let me just make sure I don't have any silly ability buff magic things that I can do that might be easier.
I imagine this would be like a survival roll or a
I'm terrible
medicine
at those.
or a medicine roll.
I'm also terrible at those. Can we say it's nature?
I would allow nature.
Nature.
I think you fail a saving throw. Yeah, I guess I will do it because at this point, I don't know how good Septimus is at this stuff, and I want to help as any way I can. So it sucks, but I'll get rid of my antitoxin and roll for nature.
Okay, go ahead and give me your nature roll.
A 25, Sean.
Oh shit. Okay. I mean, it was going to be a
19+6.
higher DC because it would be higher than survival or medicine for this, but 25 will do it. You, your guardian emblem and the antitoxin that you use here will be consumed in the ritual. But that will secure this to be where Septimus can't fail, resurrecting him with the resurrection ritual. So Septimus, just for fun though, can you give me the wisdom roll just to see if
course.
it would have failed without Fyrn's offering?
Of course. Okay. It was a 4.
So it would have passed either way. But it was close.
Well, I rolled a 2 the first time, so that's why I got a 12. I have plus 10.
So Septimus, there's going to be a little more to this than just the ritual, but what? Because of course I can't have a resurrection without some kind of scene. Otherwise, are we even really playing D&D? Anyway, what does the ritual itself though look like? I mean, I know you've done this for the Alumno Defiance, and they would have been doing these exact same things, where they would have been offering up things to keep their friends alive. But granted, they're NPCs, so I don't care what they offer.
Right.
Just kidding. But what does your ritual look like when you do resurrect someone with this? Since this is your first time doing a resurrection ritual for a friend, as opposed to, and also the first time we're seeing a true resurrection ritual versus a revivify ritual.
So he has a bunch of like incense and candles set about the room, and it's just normal, just regular lit candles with an orange flame. But as he goes and starts chanting, the candles start to dim, go out, and then reignite in the light blue flame. As it begins stronger, it continues the incantations. And as he's saying the words, the flames start to like pulse slowly, kind of like trying to kickstart his heart. Even though he's taking a soul, it's not necessarily a mechanical thing, but the essence of the soul, its heartbeat. As he's saying the words over and over, trying to locate where his friend is.
Absolutely, and the offerings given to you, Machina, and to.
I'll say that'll come into us like once he finds, I guess, where he's located.
Mhm.
The pulsing stops. The flames are still lit. And then as he tries to pull it back towards its body, the flames get brighter and brighter as he comes towards him. And yeah. And I imagine as this is happening, the components of what is left on him begin to deteriorate.
Yep, absolutely. So 2 things I'll describe to start off. Septimus, you locate the location of your friend's soul. Or you have this, it's not like a GPS tracker, like you have a sense of what is
no, it's not like a vision to be like, oh, there he is.
And then you're like,
no, it's like that's a feel.
And you throw a fishing line at him.
Yeah.
No, it's a sense of you understand in your heart that Jacquette's soul is contested for claim. As while this ritual is happening, Jacquette, your soul, you,
Me?
feel the strange sensation that you've felt once before, when you were on the raft in the water with the bone ship burning and following you as you tried to escape. You sense that you're waking up in a similar place in the water, and you have like your body is like spectral in a way, which is different from the last time where you felt more corporeal. You're ghost-like, but there's this gaping, jagged wound in your chest that kind of like glows a dim light. You are aware enough to know that you were just stabbed and went unconscious and can kind of presume where you are to a certain extent. On the horizon, you look and see, followed by dark clouds, is that bone ship coming for you. But the clouds are moving faster than the ship. And the ship disappears into the fog behind them. And you can feel the waters around you start to churn and churn as you see lightning strike the ocean, the endless seas here. The storm, again, you kind of turn and look and see like that same destination you saw last time, which is there's this like idyllic field of green on an island. That is also consumed by the storm. And as the storm gets harsher and harsher, you start to see the clouds shift to a face in the sky. As you are knowledgeable enough to presume with your last resurrection that this is the old man in the sky, and this is the sort of source of the contested soul, where you are, and you shake from the cold and rain now that pours down as the raft is breaking apart underneath you. The strings holding the rough-hewn wood together are just slowly disintegrating in the water. And one wave kind of like picks you up and kind of find yourself like kind of like cascaded into the sky, and then you're floating there as there's this big spectral cloud face looking at you, and almost like you're being drawn closer to it. And it's in that moment that you hear the whispers of your friend Septimus, very low, hard to overcome the sounds of the storm and the clouds and the thunder and lightning. As you're not even sure, you're like in your head, you're like, what the fuck does this elemental titan want with me? And Septimus, this is when you can kind of like pinpoint that there's this elemental hold over Jacquette. You're not quite sure what it means. Yeah. Same way I said he doesn't know what it means.
Mm-hmm.
But it's resisting your resurrection. It's contesting it. It's trying to stop the soul from being drawn back to the material plane.
Mm-hmm. Septimus' eyes are closed. Those who are watching him, well, this is kind of like, if you've seen any of the other resurrections, it's not as challenging and he's not grimacing, but now he is. He's like, just quit. Come back. I command you to come back. As he's just putting more of his willpower into it.
This it resounds through the storm, Jacquette, of the voice of Septimus. And it's when you, of course, feel the true contesting, which is the blue lights now of Machina trying to pull your soul back. You would see these pale blue tendrils coming from the air. There's no source of them, as they seem to kind of come and probe around, feeling for your soul. And you can sense, you've seen enough of Septimus magic, that this is Machina. Is there anything you do in this moment?
Jacquette is reaching for these tendrils as he's like looking at the old man in the sky and is like, hey there, Iolus. I appreciate the resurrection last time, but my friend's, he's got me this time. So if you just let me go and let him, as like Jack's reaching for one of these tendrils, just let me go.
The tendril wraps around your wrist, and like you there's a million things going through your head of like what Eyeless could want with your soul. Like, you know, it's even uncertain like what level of deity Eyeless even is, if Eyeless even is a deity or just a very powerful creature that has some sway over your soul because of the last resurrection. The tendril and tightens around your wrist. And you can see from where it's connecting, your veins turn the light blue.
Oh.
And then as you're like, kind of like maybe like not astonished, but like, oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, at that, your other arm is grabbed. And you can see the veins, the light blue.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
As there's like this, the storm is muted by this new sound. And this sound goes into your head too, Septimus. And Septimus, you kind of like feel a warmth in your veins too. And like those looking at Septimus, even though his eyes are closed and he's meditating, his veins are also turning blue. And then the sound, though, is this discordant sound. It's kind of like this, it's hard to find the words to describe it, but it's like a scraping, high-pitched sound, almost like metal on metal, but with like a vibrato to it that makes it like piercing, like it's really ripping into your ears. But it's
Like
also
the check
somewhat
engine light is on.
No, it's beautiful in a sort of way. It's like experimental music that's just sort of like really high pitched and repeating notes and discordant sounds. You know, almost like something's being played backwards. And it gets louder and louder as you can feel, Jacquet, this blue light charging through your veins towards your heart.
Oh, no.
Almost as if there's a spiritually, that's where the contest is. Like Eyeless had like imbued some level of elemental magic into your heart. And that once it hits there, it devours whatever elemental magic is there. And the storm just vanishes. And you're just kind of like floating in the air above a calm sea now. Back in material plane, the storm outside stops completely.
Mm-hmm. I would say in this moment, like traditionally before, where Septimus has kind of like not superimposed Machina onto the people that he's resurrecting. I like to imagine in this, like he's focusing so hard and he's actually can't think of the freaking word. Not enticing, but trying to not summon Machina. I guess coaxing is kind of the word I can. Not luring, but like calling forth and something for help, essentially.
Beckoning.
Thank you.
Beckoning. That's a good word.
Thank you. That's exactly. I couldn't think of that. Beckoning Machina during this to help him through this struggle.
Yeah.
That pharaoh fluid that's like on him begins to like creep to like towards his hands, and it starts like becoming over Jacquet.
Yeah.
As it melds with the emblem and whatever was there, and seeps into his chest cavity, and begins fixing him up.
100%. And this is sort of like the spiritual. This is the material representation of spiritually what's happening to you, Jacquet. As even though Jacquet, you still see the bone ship on the horizon, like you're still marked for something from that entity. Eyeless has been purged from your spiritual signature and replaced with Machina.
Great.
And you just drop from the sky and start barreling down to the water. And as you're about to hit the water, bam, eyes go black, and then opens up. Your real material body catches a hitched breath, as you all see Jacquet resurrected. The jagged wound in his chest completely sealed over with pharaoh flesh.
I like to imagine it kind of looks, although it's not metallic, like the interwoven pattern of like carbon fiber.
Oh yeah,
but metal. It's like patched up.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a dim blue glow as you just hear the heartbeat come back. And Jacquet, you can hear your heart in your head, like it's pounding so aggressively. But you know that not only is your flesh mechanized, but your heart is as well.
I like
But
to
you will
imagine
awake.
Fyrn's lackey is also standing there, with, like, wide-eyed with a bottle of wine and a baguette.
Yeah, 100%.
Why a baguette?
That's all that was around. That wasn't that didn't need to be
It's a
cooked.
French establishment, isn't it?
All right.
No, it's whatever cuisine the goblins of the glass fields eat. So
Always a
not
baguette.
French.
Cajun.
Imagine it's more. Yeah, I was legitimately about to say it's more Cajun. So he's got a. So it's still a bit French.
It's still, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say, forget
Some
still
French
counts.
influence there, mixed with Caribbean. But
Yeah,
Jacquet,
once
you
Jacquet, I hear him awake. Septimus will kind of like break, sit back, has like a little bead of sweat as he just.
You're back.
Jacquet.
How are you feeling?
Jacquet's just like still lying on the in his bed, soaked with blood, and just looks around at them all, looking down at him. He just goes, "Who let you into my room?"
I did.
He's back, all right.
He feels his chest, and as we all recall, Jacquet sleeps shirtless, even in the cold of winter. Because technically this whole time it's been winter, which I forgot about all the time. But, you know, he's feeling his chest, and he's like looking down, and he's like, "Septimus? What did you do to me?"
I brought you back from the dead. I didn't expect you to be gracious, but I had to do it by
No.
any means necessary.
I am. Thank you. But what did you do? I felt your magic, Machina's magic.
Septimus just.
Before that, that elemental. Remember Fyrn when I died the last time? Aeolus, the old man in the sky.
Right? Did he come to
He-
you again?
Did. As if, I don't know, to claim my soul? But then Septimus, I heard your voice and the tendrils of blue light, the magic that you've used, Machina's magic. Saved me from him? I don't know what he wanted. But Machina, whatever hold Aeolus had on me, Aelus,
Eyeless.
Is it-
Eyeless?
Eyeless.
Eyelus.
Eyeless.
It's spelled with an A, right?
Yeah, it's AELLUS.
Hmm.
Eyeless. It's
So I just
probably
don't know
more
how to
pronounced
pronounce thing.
Yeah.
Eyeless, I don't even know what he wanted with me. But whatever it was, Septimus, you saved me from that fate. In addition to bringing me back here. And at this, he finally kind of sits up, and he puts his hand out to Septimus. Thank you.
Septimus will go give it a hearty grab. Shake
And then
it.
Jacquet pulls him into a hug. And then, unbeknownst to anyone, but a single tear drops onto Septimus's neck.
Jacquette's permitted once a month tier.
Yes.
Wait, I'm gonna roll for this to see if Bruce.
Fyrn is just like obviously happy that
I got
Jaquette's
23.
back, but is also looking very disturbed from the method that he was returned. And not only does he fear for, what is to come of Jaquette's soul, but also if we somehow invoke the wrath of Ilis by doing this.
Yeah, fear, and it's the kind of thing that, given your respect for the spirits, even like your original ritual of shattering the orb to free Ilis to resurrect Jacquette last, like you might even, and you can decide how Fyrn would feel about this, but you might even be like, did we do this too fast? Like, what? Maybe Ilis wasn't being malicious.
Yeah.
Like there's even like, you're and that combined with the fact that it's like spreading of the Machina infusion beyond just Septimus is not necessarily, it's not like you're like mad, but it's raises an eyebrow, as you already said.
I think actually at this moment, seeing that he's okay, Fyrn will actually go outside. Like he'll leave and look out at the sky or like check a window. And you said that there was like a storm that stopped, right?
Yep.
So he's gonna head, into the night sky and look up and begin to, start praying the way he did the day that, he was able to revive Jaquette. And maybe even like use the Ithildagnir's, passive ability to create like a snowstorm sort of thing as a way to maybe reach out.
Yeah, I mean the sky's cleared and like it's like disparate clouds. You can see some of the stars in the sky. There's still a light flurry of snow. There's no more like heavy winds or lightning and thunder. As you kind of the Ithildagnir causes more flurries of snow around you, kind of peeling off of your armor. And you usher out this prayer. Give me a religion check.
Sure. Yeah, something along the lines of Eyeless storm of these lands, I beseech thee. I worry for my friend's soul as I did once before. If you deem me worthy, please reach out to me and tell me what you wish. And I got to 13.
Okay, so there is definitely like kind of like similar to your upbringing worshiping the elements and previous experiences with the elements, like they don't really give direct messages. There is just sort of this uptick of wind around you that is not like so strong that it's trying to push you over. It's almost just embracing.
Maybe like a static energy in the air.
Yeah, a little bit of that mixed with this, just to at least like, I guess the best you might be able to presume from this is that you've like reached the spirit.
I thank you for your previous assistance once again. Just know that if you need anything, I am here to serve. We respect you and respect this land.
Yeah. And as you say those last things, the sort of static energy and wind almost shifts, and you can kind of almost sense it like continue through the street. And maybe even for a moment, there's a feeling of it in the room where even Septimus, Bruce, and Jacquette feel kind of this static in the air and a light breeze that swipes through the house and back out the door.
Hey, why are you standing there with the wine glass? Give me that. Bruce just like pours a glass of wine.
So when you realize that this wine that they gave you is like a violet-colored gin.
This'll do. Jack White, sit up. Here.
And he says, still embracing Septimus, looks at Bruce like, what?
Once you're done, sorry.
Pushes Septimus.
And then Bruce is like, this is my body and this is my blood, as he hands you gin.
And a baguette.
And a baguette.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Jaquette? You must be probably a little woozy still.
My heart seems to be beating a lot louder than it used to.
Septimus does
Maybe.
looks down and sees the patchwork over his chest and kind of knew the feeling that was there and kind of realizes what has happened. And it wasn't his intention, but was just the full willpower of trying to overcome that pushed it. It seems that Machina has bestowed on you a gift. Maybe not to you, but you should know it wasn't my intention, Jaquette. But whatever force was keeping you at bay, me digging deeper may have caused it.
I mean, these things happen. Not my preferred pattern, he says, as he just is still just unconsciously just running his fingers along the wound. But it's much better than being dead. Speaking of, what happened to that shadow that attacked me? How did you even know?
Septimus.
Heard something in the night. I turned, something felt strange. Coldness watching me. I used magic to detect a figure lurking in the dark. And with the power of Machina, I beckoned him to summon down a wrath to purge it from my temple. But in doing so, I saw several other beacons come down and eradicate. I'm assuming what attacked all the rest of you.
It was that shadow. That damned shadow that Winifred spoke with, remember?
Yeah, is it the same one? Same figure?
Wait. Which, speaking of, and recollecting for a minute, it's like, not to be too alarmist, but I saw one, obviously, where I was. One from the lighthouse, one from this location. But there was a fourth at the academy. Would they have targeted Sigil or someone there?
It's a good question.
Makes sense that they were probably looking for Bruce.
Yeah, it's not often that I stay here.
And
I suppose that's true.
there's a latent energy within the establishment.
Yes.
Where it comes from, just my roguish charm, I guess. That I can help people that stay here and be undetectable, either by magical or non-magical means. So
Yeah, not gonna lie, I thought that was kind of coming from you. No offense, I just didn't really.
I never lie to you guys.
No, I just I thought that
He meant embellish.
yeah.
Jacquet stays silent.
It's actually quite striking, the patchwork on Jacquette's chest, because he is tabaxi, and there's no fur there. So it stands out in a particular way compared to how it looks on Septimus, where no fur grows there anymore. Jacquette, you have been blessed by Machina, which means you do gain a benefit from this machinized heart. Once a day, you have advantage against saving throws that against being poisoned.
Oh damn!
Cool.
Now everyone's got it.
Everyone's
Damn,
like, I
don't
gotta
tell-
go die.
Damn, don't tell his cook that. He's gonna be pissed.
It's the kind of thing that, like, Jacquette, you will never know that. It's just how your
Right.
body is now. That you just have this layer of resistance to becoming poisoned. That you just, it's just a feature of this heart now.
All the alcohol just tastes a little different.
You'll be able to hold your liquor better. Not as much as if you were resistant to poison. More so, you're slightly resistant to puking.
Yeah, I imagine after, this brief conversation, Fyrn would return. Just look at Jacquette and then Bruce and say, "This is unacceptable. What are we going to do about this?"
Well, first off, looking around, are the other two in the room, or
The followers?
yeah?
Yeah, they've just been standing there ever since they handed off the bread and gin to Bruce.
Seeing his reaction, Fyrn would just be like, "You can trust them."
No, I know. I was just making sure everybody was in attendance. It was like, first off, news of Jacquette's death does not leave this room. We cannot
Agreed.
let the town know that we could be snuck upon in our dwellings and killed. We all survived the attack by casting out. Surely people would have caught the light. So we can go on that all was spared prior to the attack. And that anyone to try this in the future shall be incinerated as well.
See the two followers like they just like make a gesture to lock their lips and throw the key away.
But second, we need to find out more about whatever it is you're dealing with. Something that can manifest through the shadows in multiple places.
I know where we must go to figure this out. Yesterday, traveling through the widow's ward, I was told about an area that houses, supposedly, Oakwood has made her base of operations, where her men like to hang out. If there's anywhere in the city where we might learn about her magics, it would be there.
Whose magic?
Well, we've seen Orkwood like turn into a. No,
You've never met Orkwood. You only know that she exists.
but we've seen shadow creatures before.
Yes, you saw the shadow creature that interrogated Winifred and threatened her. That looked identical to what attacked you. And then, of course, you've
Bruce
seen
and-
Dalen as a Shadowmancer.
Bruce and Jacquette are the only ones that saw the shadow figure.
Correct.
So Jacquette technically is the only one that can identify.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Jacquette, especially given the nature of your attack, like literally did the smile to you. But you would at least know, like,
But
it looks like what they've described, because did describe that to you.
And I've also seen the picture of the smiling shadow from
Yes.
the other guy, our old bone caller friend, who was, he was painting all the pictures, and no, just the.
I know.
Remembers
Yes.
Oh, the blue
yeah.
Dragonborn.
Yes.
Yes.
Bjorn.
Right.
Yorke.
Mhm.
Bjorn's pictures, and he was
Yes.
also enemy of,
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, you've many indications that there is a shadow magic endemic to the Syndicate.
Right. So I know where the Syndicate is, or I have a rumor on where the Syndicate is. We should try and launch some sort of attack, or perhaps just an inquiry into that area.
We could. I think it'd be good to gather more information first. I don't want to go into a fight we're not ready for. Another option. That's a good one, Fyrn. Septimus, I know we talked very briefly about planar binding. What if we lay another trap out? Didn't successfully get all of us. What if we bait ourselves again in the night? I bet.
Well, if it failed, they're probably not going to do it again.
Well, we don't know
At
that.
least not within our respective homes. We'd have to be somewhere where it would think that we're no longer safe.
If that creature who attacked us was able to let its master know of what happened before it disappeared, perhaps they think that they were successful, that Jaquette is dead. It gives us a little bit of an element of surprise if he were to appear tomorrow with this news article that he is planning. Maybe we could somehow make some sort of public announcement to, I don't know, just maybe lure Mr. Greaves into a false sense of security somehow.
I don't think that's wholly a bad idea. I already sent the article out, so that's being published no matter what, even if I had died. But if someone else starts claiming that I'm no longer around, we'll then have a better idea about who exactly is behind it. I mean, we can assume it's Mr. Greaves. But whoever is leaking that information might help us follow the trail back up. In the meantime, I can disguise myself. If anyone asks, you all just say that I'm fine and I'm resting. And then I can try to suss out who it was that came after us.
I think this is a
We
good
know
idea.
whoever leaks it to the public or to the press that you've been killed, we can trace backwards to see where it came from.
Right.
It's not a bad idea.
I like this idea a lot. The other thing
And
is, the other three of us are still alive. And if they do have communication, if they do have knowledge that he's dead, then they also know that three of us are alive. Which means that they could try again.
Yeah, and if they think, one of the followers chimes in, if they think they did kill Jaquette, it might mean that they will feel confident in trying to attack one of the others.
That's right.
Which is why I think we should take the initiative and attack first.
but who do we attacking? Do you have solid proof that it's definitely the Syndicate? Do we know it's definitely the Syndicate, or that's just a broad
It's
assumption?
your strongest
High
assumption.
likely, yeah.
Okay, it's a
like,
strong assumption.
very
There's no
likely.
hard evidence. I'd rather go on hard evidence. Not saying that you're wrong, but we need to back up. If we're going to be the defender of the city, we can't attack people that we just suspect. That's playing right into Mr. Greaves' hand. Attack first, ask questions later, regardless of the people that are involved.
Yeah, and if we get the leak, the person who leaked this information that Jacquet is dead, then we have even better lead, and we can then definitely get to where we need to be and have more information on how to attack the situation. I think, in terms of our safety, I think it's good that we probably stay the night together.
Agreed.
Very well. To the fortress, then. It's the most secure location.
Fortress of the Temple.
Is it, though?
Given
I
how
would say
Septimus
so.
talks about it.
Weren't you attacked in the night as well?
I'm still standing.
You look like you're bleeding.
Because of the bite of Machina. If it wasn't for the divine beams coming down, and I could
would have
only
been
do
fine.
that if in my temple.
They won't, like you said, they won't try the same method twice. And my fortress has more fortifications. If you think your temple is safe, fine, but I'm going back to protect my men.
We need to stay together, and your men are not at risk, Fyrn.
And you were
We
also
are.
attacked inside of your own fortress and almost died, maybe.
I understand that that your fort is stronger against an army or the rabble that we're dealing with, but whatever this shadow magic is, I think the Temple of Machina is a safer place for us to stay. At least until we've seen this issue through.
If we want to try to trap the demon, we stay at the fortress. But I think for tonight, we finish the rest of the night at the temple. And get a head start tomorrow to see what we can find out about who spilled the beans of Quet's murder.
Great.
I'm not afraid of any assassin.
Oh, you
Or
should
magic.
You just killed Jacquet. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, and that is...
Okay,
I'm not-
Mr. Slept through it.
Yeah, I wasn't attacked.
Due to Jacquet's ability. You have no
Yeah,
idea
the fortress.
So, what do you know what my fortress would have done if we were all there? They would have been destroyed just the same. If you wish to go to the temple,
Aaron?
that's fine, but don't insult me.
I wasn't insulting you. Just say.
You called me
No.
stupid.
Well, you were implying that we should be in an unsafe area, which is, in turn...
It's not unsafe.
It's not unsafe, you're right, Fyrn, but the temple is safer, and that's where Septimus was able to banish this creature for good. So let's go spend the rest of the night there.
Wait. Now that I'm thinking more technically.
You're just
You only do
Maybe
that
we should
once.
maybe we should go to the stronghold.
What have you discovered? Is it like once every 7 days?
It's a once for long rests.
Fyrn rolls his eyes.
And what does the fortress grant us? Technically speaking?
I can heal everyone to max once per day,
Okay, so it's also a long rest thing.
They're all long rest things.
but I haven't used it yet, so I can use it tonight.
Exhausted
Okay,
yet.
so for tonight...
Yes, for tonight, maybe we were all safer in Fyrn's beautiful stronghold.
Plus, there's less creeps at Fyrn's
Bruce
Stronghold.
isn't invited. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys are all gonna wake up to Hal with his robot eyes staring at you.
Just gently caressing Jacquet's chest.
It's like, you are so blessed.
All right, so Jacquet gets up and starts to gather his things. He is going to disguise himself before. Actually, he's just gonna cast Disguise Self and go as the Gwen elf, whatever that he's been using.
Yeah, absolutely.
Persona.
Fyrn tells his lackeys to go get our cart prepared, and he's gonna have it go around back, so that
What
way.
cart? We don't have a cart. We have a carriage. We have a
Carriage.
fucking carriage. No cart. We don't have a cart.
Best way to
We have a car?
stuff on. I think it's a
We have
wagon.
our fancy carriage. He goes get Brown and Maps.
Yes, they can go get Brown and Maps all connected up with the carriage.
Yeah, he's gonna bring the carriage around back, so that way we could use the back entrance. It's late at night, so I don't assume many people are scouting the place out. But just in case, if we want to smuggle Jaquette
you
into
would be
the fort
wrong.
without.
I was gonna say.
There are people in the streets now, kind of like gathered in certain areas around the city because they saw a streak of magical blue light cascade down to 4 parts of the city. Like, people are actually very interested.
Not only that, but Septimus and Sal were banging on the door, yelling, and then Bruce yelled out the window.
Yeah, so
And
like
then-
there's not like a
made a
massive
ruckus.
crowd outside, but there are people on their porches, people looking up their windows. Like, there are eyes on the street 100%.
So yeah, maybe they're just basically doing crowd control, making sure people aren't snooping into our business as we try and head towards.
Yeah, and like most people aren't. Like, they are keeping their distance because honestly, for a while they just saw a guard outside. Ukal was just outside with a lantern, so they like knew something happened at the Gloveless Cat, but they don't know what.
Mhm.
And similarly, they saw the beam of light go to your fort, and like, generally speaking, people know you guys. They know that those beams went to where you typically are, because it was the Temple District, it was the Lighthouse District, and the Academy, which are like the top 3 places Iron and Mana hang out in, other than Main Street.
I don't think Fyrn would have saw the Academy.
You
beam.
didn't, no.
All right.
Yeah, you honestly, Fyrn, you wouldn't have seen any of the beams other than your own.
Right.
Given the nature of the fort.
Jaquette does leave a note for Orin and Reardon in Thieves' Cant, so it just looks like a grocery list, but they're able to like decipher out that he's gone to the fort and operate as normal.
Okay. Easy enough. Okay, so all folks see is that the carriage leaves the establishment and goes up to the fort. Interest dies down throughout the night. People presume that they'll hear about it through the grapevine or in the paper.
Ukal sticks to the script.
Yes. Fear, do you want to like leave Ukal here? Just sort of like be the eyes until
that's
Orin gets
actually
here?
a good idea. I think that's a good idea that he would basically just guard and like keep an eye out and let us know if anything happens. As well as my runner at the temple that I sent to the temple. I would probably have him stay there just to keep an eye on things and let us know if there's any problems.
Sure, no problem. But yes, you are able to get to the fort. Your other followers open up the gate, and there are plenty of warm, comfortable lodgings in the fort for you all.
Yeah, Ukal's specifically told to not let anyone into Jaquette's room. That's his orders. It's locked, probably, but
Yeah. Well, you never know which of these peasants
Perhaps
have
we should
vortex
take
warp.
shifts for the rest of the night.
I could also put up a hut as another precaution.
A hut?
It's this thing for my Grappy's cube that it's kind of like an impenetrable field. It's nice and toasty in there. It's temperature controlled. You want
All
that?
right, I'm in. Can I bring a bed in with me?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
This is
Get nice and
a
cozy,
tiny
Bruce.
hut?
Yeah, it's a tiny hut.
Yeah. Okay. Tiny huts are 10-foot diameter circles, right?
They are 20-foot diameter, 10-foot radius.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Wow, tiny huts are bigger than I always imagined them to be. I think just like we
Yeah.
tend to
Yeah.
describe them as cramped, but they're actually pretty large.
Not so tiny,
They could even maybe cast it over the barracks, and then they kind of have bedrooms anyway.
I think that it's
That
probably
would
not
that make
that
sense?
big. But I mean, I guess you could just sleep in the bunks in the barracks.
Right.
With the tiny hut up, yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, you sleep in the tiny hut, which gives you the protection to not have to
Yay.
worry about getting disrupted in the middle of the night,
Mhm.
unless there was a powerful enough dispel magic cast on. But do you still want to do shifts watching, or do you just trust in Bruce's hut?
We should still
Jacquet
do shifts.
requests an allegiance of his watch so that because he got stabbed, died, and then was resurrected.
Yeah, and remember Jacquet for the next 4 days.
-4.
Yep. Descending for each day.
Oh, where'd it go? I'm just using exhaustion for the time being.
I guess that's true. It is basically just 4 levels of exhaustion. I guess they probably just don't want to label it that, given the death capacity for exhaustion. Okay, but I no need to do perception checks or shifts. You guys take your shifts, and the evening does go by. There's not a second assault in the evening. You presume that either they don't have the capacity for it, or they see the killing of one of you as victory enough for the evening, given what you assume they know from the encounter. But those of you who do watch, it's certainly uneasy, of course, particularly for Fyrn and Septimus, who experienced it, because I guess you haven't really felt this way since the Great North, because there you also felt the same anxiety about the shadows. It's very much so if you took the real life fear of the dark and multiplied it excessively, where it's the whole there's obviously an invisible monster in my basement, or an invisible monster chasing me after I brought the garbage out at night. But in this, it could actually be a legitimate invisible monster chasing you in the night. So every dark corner becomes something more to fear. And granted, for you, Fyrn, it's not as frightening as it might be for Septimus, because you can see slightly in the dark with your dark vision. But even still, it's still concerning.
Yeah,
it's actually almost
Fyrn would-
sometimes I think dark vision would be scarier than not being able to see, because everything is in that something I have to remind myself that dark vision is black and white. You can't see colors, and it's this almost creepier night vision. But granted, you have always had dark vision, so it's not something scary to you personally.
But I imagine it would be easier to construe movement as
yeah, exactly.
The movement of the blades of grass could be footsteps or something like that.
Yeah, totally. There's more things to be scared of than just the dark when you can see it slightly. And it's not like you have perfect dark night vision goggles on. It's still hazy.
Sure. Well, I mean, Fyrn would probably try to run lanterns throughout the night. The watch would hold lights up and kind of just patrol in the wide open spaces where there aren't many cat crevices or on top of the walls where there won't be any shadows.
Yeah, your candle and torch budget goes up as you
That's okay. I'm sure that's not a really big hit.
No. Because I could imagine you being all right, no shadows. I want the entire exterior of the fort be bathed in light for the entire night.
I wouldn't go to that extent, but I would make sure that every guard had a lantern at least.
But the morning comes, morning light through the window with no disruption of your long rest now. It's around 9 a.m. when you guys awake.
Whatever's earlier, if I can, since I'm an early bird. How is the paper usually distributed? Aside
So
from
there's-
the subscription on the front door.
So there's paper boys that go out and be like, extra, hear all about it. Jacquet Touchard responds to Mr. Graves.
If I can find one early in the morning, I would try to do so.
Yeah, you absolutely can. And they absolutely are like, hey, mister, you're that Septimus. As they hold out a hand for a tip. hearing tales of the fabulous wealth of Iron and Mana building buildings that should have taken much longer so fast.
Yes. Septimus would give him a little extra.
Bites onto
Yes,
it and
thank
runs
you.
away.
Perusing through the paper,
Mhm.
obviously he'll see Jacquet's article in there, right?
Oh yeah, you don't even have to go that far. It's got a front page. It's a front pager.
Is there not anything else talking about the attack last night? I know it's very sudden, but I'm curious if there was like a premeditated thing that was sent in following this.
No,
Okay.
that's a great thought to check on, but there's no pre-established article about the the death of anyone or anything like that. You just see Jacquet's article that you might be perusing as you walk back.
Problemo.
The newspaper guys are like, I got this article by Jacquet, but I also have an obituary for Jacquet.
The obituary reads pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty scathing, actually.
Maybe we
Imagine
should
if
warn him.
Imagine they actually did get that, but they're like, this is a hoax. He sent us his article. He's clearly alive. And then the formal announcement comes. No, there's no leak that happened in the middle of the night.
There's no pre-leak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Which you can presume whatever you want of that. Like they're
No, it was more of just a hopeful thing where like if there was,
yeah.
then that's the sooner we got to act on
You immediately
it because
you
obviously
immediately
you got
have a lead.
yeah.
But no, there isn't.
Okay.
Fyrn would typically, act like it's a normal day, train with his guards in the morning. But he would be pushing them a little harder than usual, considering the events of last night. He would just be like, we're on high alert sort of thing. Like, this could mean war. Everybody must be, at their, be aware and be at their strongest. Lots of inspirational speeches. Maybe waking up some people who are light sleepers, unless they're in a hut that's soundproof.
No, I imagine you all wake up fairly early, maybe except Jacquet, who might sleep in from his weakness.
Does this technically count as a long rest for my?
Yes. Mechanically, you took a long rest after you took the hit, so I will count this towards your.
Okay, cool.
But it's definitely like Jacquet is definitely fatigued. Going through the next few days. But Jacquet, I imagine while Fyrn is outside with his followers, Septimus, you kind of are walking through the courtyard with the paper and walk inside to like the great hall where there's some breakfast being served with Jacquet and Bruce. And Jacquet, you see that Septimus has the paper.
Is that what I think it is?
It is exactly. No other news. I was hoping, seeing if there was anything related to last night's attack. It was premeditated, but yeah, let's have a look. I didn't actually have time to read what you have written here.
Oh, Oh, do you want to read it aloud?
I actually, one thing I would say is there's nothing about the attack, but there is a very brief news article that's just reporting that there were lights in the sky last night. It's not it doesn't say like victim Jacques Touchard, age whatever, dead.
Right. No,
But it just says like
obviously
strange
all
lights
that.
reported in the lighthouse district and the academy, whatnot. Very like really like matter of fact article in there, just trying to get the hit the story before it becomes something more.
I just want to. I wasn't here while people were saying what they were doing in the morning, but I just want to. When Septimus is going to get the paper, Fyrn is training his people.
Totally.
I imagine Bruce was by Jacquet's side the entire time, but kind of just staring at his heart.
Aww.
Just like, you know, just seeing how it's changed.
You don't trust me?
You know, just like a little.
Interestingly enough, Bruce, this is this event has given you a chance to like observe the machina flesh, the pharaoh flesh, without like being weird around Septimus.
Right.
And it is.
Not fully in like investigative or like
Totally.
really worried. It's more of like just concern, like a slight concern for Jacquet, but also like a little bit of intrigue, but also like it's just that balance between. So sorry.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You know, I don't think it would be difficult for Jacques to notice him staring at your chest.
Yeah, no, Bruce is like not making it too obvious, but you know, Bruce is kind of just like by his side, like you know, reading Timothy Chalamet's teleportation tips and tricks, which he still for some reason hasn't finished. I guess you know, Sigil has him reading other books.
Yeah, right.
It's really the story. It gets a little storytelly. You know, it's like 800.
You're right. Yeah.
It's like
towards the middle, it's like.
Every
it
single
starts being more of a biography than a textbook.
Every single spell equation is preceded by a long story about how when he was a kid he whatever
throw a rock in like one specific position that bounced off another rock and then something sparked. And...
You keep like flipping the page like I just want the equation, I just want the recipe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but I have to go back.
Yeah,
to page 45 because I have to read this. His middle school teacher talking about this thing.
Really cryptic writer, that Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Oh.
I
variable
really want you guys to
J.
meet Timothy Chalamet because we've talked about it so much. Anyway, Jacques, you notice very subtly, but that Bruce is staring at your new chest heart.
Good morning, my
Hi,
friend.
good morning, Jacquet. How you feeling?
Drained. Like I died the other day. Not even. Last night. Oh.
That's 2, 3, 4.
2 times I've died. Thank you very much.
And does it get easier each time? Compared to your first time, I mean. Okay. All right. Just curious.
I think the shock of the first time, but both the instance of death, this one I was dead for longer, and I feel it in my soul. Oh, wait. And you can see that he's still just rubbing his fingers against the ferro metal, the carbon mesh, whatever, patch on his chest.
Do you feel any different? Like mentally, you know? This might be hard to compare and contrast.
I mean, it's almost, I feel more sure that at least when it all ends, I don't want things to end the way they are now, he says, thinking about the ship, thinking about the island, thinking about the waters and the raft falling out from under him. I have to do something. I don't know what.
Like in Hyven?
What's waiting
like...
for... I wish I knew, my friend. But what's waiting for me after this life? It does not look like a good time. And I thought that I was starting to make some amends. I never did anything wrong. I mean, yeah, maybe I insulted some people. I wasn't exactly making friends my whole life, but I wasn't a bad guy, I don't think. Was I?
You're pretty mean to Saskia a lot.
Oh, we're still in the tiny hut.
What exactly did you see that makes you now question your previous decisions?
It was the last time too, but I guess I'm just a bit of a slow learner. It was a ship made entirely of bones. And last time, the first time, when Eyeless saved me, it was bearing down on me, much closer, but this time it was still there, on the horizon, coming. But Eyeless came first, and he wanted something from me. I don't know what. My soul? My life force? I don't know. I don't know. But I still feel like being a part of his storm would have been a better fate than whatever that ship was.
All right, so you don't know what this ship is, but you're equating it to bad decisions that you've made previous in your life.
I think Septimus actually had some knowledge about this. About it's a local legend of Aldhalor culture that there's this bone ship that comes to those who have done wrong, died at sea, things of that nature.
Well, I guess it's good reason for you to put a nice good step forward. Is that what you're thinking? Bruce
Well,
says
I thought I was already doing that.
A smirk.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
can you really count it as a good deed if you're only doing it to save yourself in the next life? That's something I've always struggled with modern religion. You know, if you're only being a good person so that you can avoid bad consequences in the next life, are you really a good person?
Well,
I don't
I
know.
think
Just
with
something
your
I think
logic, you
about.
can always loop back, and I think inherently we're all out for our own survival and ourselves.
I don't know. Have you met some of those fucking hedge paladins out there? They're too fucking good.
Well, maybe I don't know anything about their religion, but maybe if they're a good person, they get to go to a good place. Kind of like what you're
Right,
thinking.
that's what I mean. They don't do it out of a selfless
really good.
need. But they don't do it out of a selfless need to get to a better place. I inherently will never do something out of the kindness of my own heart because I'm only doing it to ensure that I don't end up on that fucking bone ship. I don't know, maybe there's a conversation that Septimus could preside over.
Yeah, he probably has a little bit more information he can.
It's as you're talking about how nice the hedge knights are that there's like a knock on the door from Balfour, who's just like, breakfast is served. Because Balfour is in this garrison.
Gestures to him. Yeah.
Thank you, Balfour.
Do you do things because it's the right thing to do, or because you know that you'll be rewarded in the next life?
Well, you see, I don't really think about the next life.
but you know that there's another life, right? That is one of the realities of this fantasy world we fucking live
I don't know what you mean
is
by
that
fantasy world, but yes, of course I
He kind of
understand.
just answered our question right there, Jaquette, right?
right, but I'm just saying that it is a one of my Stefan's issues with an actual afterlife is that
Yeah.
can anyone ever do something out of the goodness of their own heart if they inherently know that there's something? But we don't have to dive down this philosophical.
And this is when Balfour goes into his dissertation. You see, I don't think that is a proper understanding of these afterlives as some kind of all-encompassing heaven or hells. The lore I understand, the hells aren't even beyond this plane. They're almost part of it, and I don't think,
no, that's true. I guess
I think you're holding on to some kind of different worlds, preconceived notions of the afterlife and the soul. When this world is very material.
Christian-centric.
It's a material-based world as opposed to a spiritual-based world. Even though we use terms like spirit, it's all material. Sorry, the eggs are getting cold.
Oh, eggs? Jacquet gets up and goes, oh.
Sit back down, buddy.
He gets his cane out, and now he actually needs it to walk.
Yeah. But after that interaction, we'll catch back up to when Septimus and Jacques are talking about the article.
Sorry. Thank you.
No, you're good. But before we do that, actually, I think we're gonna take a quick break, a couple minutes, and we'll come back and jump into that scene.
All right.
All right, we'll be back, folks. Please stick around. Welcome back to Adrift in Aldhalor. Our heroes have successfully resurrected Jacques Touchard, although with some machine augmentations. And they are now in the next morning, where a newspaper article has been published. As Jacques and Septimus and Bruce are in the Great Hall of Fyrn's fort. Fyrn is outside giving some pep talks and trainings with his troops and making sure that the fort is secure. Exactly. So I believe the last thing that you all did in this moment was Jacques noticed that you had the newspaper there.
Yes.
Hey, Septimus, you got the newspaper there.
But your voice sounds quite different.
Sorry, that was just Machina talking through me. You know how it is.
I'm assuming you want me to read this aloud. Is
If
your
you
vocal
want.
cords still healing from the resurrection?
Yeah, we would really appreciate that.
Just make sure you
All right.
scroll down, and it's the one titled "On Democracy, Conflict, and the Will of the People."
Wait. Go on the stage in the dining hall, and everybody will sit down and we'll all listen.
If Fyrn literally just walked in with a few of his followers.
Thank you for telling me that, Jacques. On democracy, I'm using your voice for some reason. On democracy, conflict, and the will of the people, Jacques Touchard. Hello, once more, good people of Hyven. What does democracy mean? It's irrelevant to a man who intends to use those around him to gain what he wants. A tool to be used for false validity in a miasma of corruption. But where I come from, democracy is not a battle. It is not a fight between opposed sides. Democracy, that is the will of the people. It is a choice for what they want to see in the world. In a larger form, it is a compromise between invested parties. Groups of like-minded individuals coming together to select a member from amongst their ranks to represent them. And hopefully, a good leader is selected that not only acknowledges the wants and needs of their group, but also the wants and needs of all citizens they now represent. Mr. Grease presents the current struggle as a us versus them conflict. The people of Hyben versus Commodore Umadori and Governor Saipajan. But why must this be a fight? I have fought for many years of my life. The last year primarily for you, Hyven. And it is an exhausting existence. Even now, there is a conflict in Hyven. One grieves the syndicate forces on you with their extortion and sale of weapons to thugs like the Chroma Fist. I see your tired faces. You are already exhausted from a fight you did not pick. So why would you allow Greaves to drag you into another one? Hyven is special. Hyven is a special, unique place. One that deserves to be elevated and respected more than it is by the larger Afdali unity. Every district contributes to the validity of the larger city, even the Admiralty Court. But to declare war against those that we are neighbors with is a condemnation to ruin for Hyven. Even a humble merchant should know this. I agree with Greaves that the people of Hyven should guide their own fortune. But why follow a man of destiny who has the audacity to speak for you? He wants to set the stage for his coup, dictating the time and individuals involved. I think the city should decide. Each district should elect a representative, someone they trust to look out for their best interests. These elected officials should then meet to establish candidates and proper procedures for a city-wide election. Normally, I would suggest the Commodore's office in the Admiralty Court as a venue for these discussions. But given the current temperature on their oversight, Iron and Manor offers the lighthouse fort we've established. primarily through the hard work of Fyrn and Wide-Eye as a neutral venue. It's no secret Greaves and our party have been at odds, but we are more than willing to work with him and those that seek his leadership, if that is truly the will of the people. On the 18th of the Shining Shadow, at 9 o'clock in the morning, in the Lighthouse District, the delegates from each of Hyven's 8 districts will be received at the Lighthouse Fort. Thank you for your attention on this matter. My goodness.
What just starts clapping, slow clapping in the back.
I think
I
Fyrn
couldn't
would
have
chime
said
in.
it better myself.
You did say it.
Hey,
I had no idea that you were. Did we talk about using the Lighthouse District
Vaguely.
as a venue? Okay. Well, you
Fyrn
have
would
obviously
given
put the
his
ball
permission.
in Mr. Greaves' court. It will be interesting to see how the people respond to this. There certainly will be some that will see this as a band-aid solution, but others might be enthused with the idea, or maybe having to sit back and reconsider whether or not or why they would stand with Mr. Greaves as someone for his lot.
I
We'll
mean,
at least-
you know,
We will at least challenge people to step up for themselves in this declaration. We'll see if there is truly a rabble of Greaves supporters. We'll know for sure how many of them or, what type of sway he has when they all come here.
as I said, right now, Mr. Greaves presents this as it's either him or the established way. And it's very clear that the established way is not working. So everyone will go towards his side. But he doesn't present anything. He doesn't actually say what he's going to do, right? He doesn't have any policies that he talks about. Simply saying that what is currently happening, the status quo, that's what I was working, not the established way. The status quo isn't working, and that's clear to see. So we need to present an alternative. Even if that alternative is in keeping with some of the status quo, at least it's an alternative to him. I thought about what Obert said, that orc from the Otter business. He seemed to indicate that he knows Greaves is not a saint. He knows Greaves is not the best leader for Hyven. But he's the king of the hill. He's the one with the power right now. And if we don't challenge that power, then Greaves will walk right up to the throne and rule with his iron fist. I don't actually know how he'll...
Shadowy fist.
Yeah. And again, I don't actually know. We don't know what the end goal is for him. If it's just power, if it's just wealth, if it's just sticking a middle finger up to Saipajin. I don't know.
Well, we'll see if he reveals himself. I'd be surprised if he does it on this endeavor, but at least we'll have some sort of mouth for him. If they're willing
Indeed.
to accept.
So, in the next few days, I'm sure the districts of Hyven will start to, hopefully, come together and choose representatives. We should be prepared for the 18th. Fyrn, I will leave that in your hands, as this is your stronghold.
My men will be ready. We will prepare adequate security procedures. But
Just
there's
please
probably-
make sure you don't come off too strong. We don't want them thinking that they're walking into a trap or even into a space where they can't speak their mind freely. The sight of weapons might cause some individuals to forego speaking their truths, as they say.
if it is just the representatives that plan to meet, there will be no need for an overly extensive show of force. But if this becomes something of a mob, as we've seen in the Admiralty Court, I will need to be prepared.
Of course. I didn't mean to not be, but I trust you to see to it. In the meantime, we've got more immediate issues to see to. Primarily, as he again just starts to run his fingers over the wound on his chest. I think I will spend some time in disguise in the streets. Try to see if I hear anything about the death of Jacquet Touchard. What will you all do?
I have a busy day at hand. I believe that I have some Torcall and some other merchants I recruited from the Widow's Ward plan to set up shop in the Lighthouse District, and I told them that I would try and protect them and keep the AEC from causing any issues, or the Chromophists. So, showing that my people...
Why would the AEC cause issues?
I don't believe they would, but it seemed to be a point of concern for them that they see in the Chromophists are causing so much chaos around town that they want to make sure that they aren't involved. They said they wouldn't come if they saw AEC or Chromophist members, so I want to make sure that they have the proper protection, at least for the first couple of times where they're here. As well as, I believe I have a meeting with the guard captain of the Admiralty Court later on. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I suppose I could reach out and see. Anyone else doing anything?
Septimus just looks to Bruce.
Yeah, there's part of me that doesn't really want to walk around alone. Just because I don't know what target's on my back. You know, even during the day. I got
Maybe
lucky
you can
last night.
You can stay with me. You know, you could help patrol the Lighthouse District.
Yeah, I could do some inspections, building inspections.
Bruce, you do know that like there's like general like Boboco action happening, where like over the last like month, a couple months after they finished your party's building projects, they've slowly been like securing some rights to repair of the district areas here. You know, obviously Ducant has other things on his mind, but he has been, when he can, working with Koboco to revitalize the area of the Lighthouse District, starting with what's closest to Fyrn's Fort as the area that they're like, we actually can protect that. Like ostensibly, Iron and Mana can protect those from the violence, even though you're not like contracted to protect those areas. In their mind, it's like, well, if we can get the Lighthouse District to be in Ducant's mind, he's like, well, you know, the Lighthouse District is also kind of like an upper city. Like perhaps we can secure 2 districts for our sort of side of things.
Yeah, and Bruce would also slip in there that Koboco should like you know, if they're gonna refresh these establishments as well, they should make them higher end, like a state level establishments, because the richer folk are gonna yeah, exactly, you got it.
I mean, it's perhaps
Bruce comes from Halcyon. I don't know what you want from
yeah, Bruce is Bruce is pretty bougie. Funny enough, because of Bruce, in my world, kobolds are bougie. They're not like living in swamps and
Hey,
living in warrens.
At least in this side of the world.
Yeah. The Gwenvalier kobolds still maybe like their slop.
Right.
But somewhere deep in Bruce's heart, he knows he should be underground somewhere in a hole.
Yeah.
In a warren.
In a warren filled with makeshift traps. That's why he's a trapper. He's thinking back to his ancestral roots of a scorpion tied to a stick.
Yeah.
And a bag of skunks or something. Yeah, a bag of bees, yeah.
Bees, yeah. I think I'll travel with you, Fyrn, but I might break off and go visit Sigil for a little bit, just to check in on him, just to see what the Academy thinks about that light, and then I'll be back.
Sure. And having your help bartering with Torkoal would be a great assistance.
Absolutely. I can help you there.
Septimus?
Septimus could also barter with Torkoal too. Septimus is a...
Yeah, it'd be good seeing him again. So, yeah, I think I'll tag along as well. Although there's something else I want to do, but I don't think we have the time.
You can always start something and not end it. Or you can
It's gonna have to wait till downtime, I think.
As we leave, Bruce is going to look at Jacquet and then just give him a quick message and be like, if you run into any trouble, just use that tracker that I gave you, and I'll
quick note on downtime things. Just because we're not in a formal downtime doesn't mean you can't use your 8 free hours of the day to start downtime.
I need 24 hours.
You can just use
That's
24 hours.
3 days.
Yeah, it's 3 days. Yeah. You can also
I need
push
24
it and not sleep as much.
uninterrupted hours, I think.
Oh, well, if it's something specific like a spell that needs that,
Yeah.
that's obviously the structure of it. So I think I know what you're talking about.
Probably.
But that's a mechanical thing, so you don't need to wait for downtime to that. If it's uninterrupted, you'd have to do it no matter what it was.
Yeah, that's true.
You just might take some exhaustion. The next day, you find Septimus dead on the floor because of exhaustion. You're like, oh no, he's the resurrector. Okay.
He did too many burps on stream.
Yeah, he was actually assassinated by the hand of God.
Yeah, long enough.
You think he augmented his jaw to have this air thing. He wouldn't burp anymore, but he burps more.
Where do you think I'm storing all that air?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Anyway, we'll kind of flash forward to when Torkoal and some of the other merchants that he knows are kind of setting up shop. Now, Fyrn, where do you want them to set up shop? Is it in your courtyard? Is it right outside your gates? Where do you imagine you set up this sort of safe zone for them?
Yeah, I would say it's probably like right outside our gates.
Mm-hmm.
They would still have open access to the fortress,
Mhm.
but the thing about the fortress is there's a very specific area that's for merchants and stuff like that, which might already have like resident merchants in there. So like setting them up outside would kind of affect their business. Like Fyrn doesn't really want to like mix church and state sort of thing. So
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, that doesn't really match well, but
Actually, funny enough, you probably would have over time found your merchants area slowly losing merchants because of Greaves, actually.
right.
So like they might actually have spots perfectly for them as a sort of that fuck you to Greaves of like, I have my own exclusivity with these merchants now.
Yeah, so I would say that there wouldn't be a lot of space in there. I guess it depends on how many
It's
of
not a
these
lot.
merchants are
It's because
coming?
you're starting off small, because it's Torcal and like 2 or 3 buddies who he convinced to leave. Everyone else who probably talked to him was probably like, I ain't getting my throat slit over this, man. I'm just going to sell my seashells here.
Yeah, then I guess they could probably stay in the fort then. You know, I would have them in the lobby. And I would just maybe put up a few signs around the fort in the like neighborhoods down the main street saying that there's like a merchant fair at the fort today. That sort
Totally.
of thing.
Yep, absolutely. So when you guys walk out of the fort, you would see Torcal there setting up, taking up one of the stall spaces. And, you know, his long red hair. He's got his little like green suit on, and he's like, hey, White Eye. We're here. We're excited.
Great. Happy you could be here. Yeah, we've set up some advertisement. Hopefully we'll get a good some customers in here to you know, peddle your wares. Yeah, just make yourselves at home.
And like you, even Septimus, you notice like Torcal is not usually enthusiastic like this. You've always known him as a sarcastic asshole, and who's just sort of like, you know, gave you shit for the scrap you brought in, but also like you had a good relationship with. Obviously, things must be like somewhat rough for him to be enthusiastically greeting Fyrn and in appreciation, as opposed to being like his usual sardonic self, leaning kind of like, okay, whatever, here's your reacher grabber.
Torcal, it's been too long. I haven't seen you this chipper in years.
He looks you up and down. Is this what you've been doing when you haven't been coming to my stall? You've been getting, and he kind of looks, he kind of grabs your arm and pulls it, and then like even like grabs your mechanical arm, like he's just like, you got a new supplier?
By supplier, yeah, I think you mean Machina, then certainly yes.
Excuse me. And he pulls your other arm up, and he goes, this is Torcal. Or at least Torcal's connections. He pulls up your other arm, like, very bold. He's like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
During our travels up in the north, I was able to acquire some additional augmentation.
I read about that in the paper. You guys went up to Secanto, right?
That is
Yep.
correct. But on the way, made a stop in. Don't tell me. Not Stony Heath. Stony Heath. No. Damn it.
The first 2 letters is correct. I think I
Stormbreaker Landing.
There you go. You got it.
Yes,
There.
thank you. You helped. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
We made a stop at Stormbreaker Landing and cleansed the purged the rot that was wrought throughout that city. In doing so, I acquired this from Machina. It's a gesture of goodwill. Yes, Machina. You were the one that told me and brushed me off to whispers. And the knowledge that I've acquired since then.
And you see his head. He like looks at you with this like incredulous look, but then he goes, turns his head and his eyes go wide. And he's like, "What? It's real?" Are you sure about that? There wasn't just some mystical artificer up there that slapped you on the head with a hammer and you woke up like this?
Maybe at once I would have thought that, but I've spoken directly to. I have been quite blessed.
Well, then I guess maybe you don't have any need for my wares anymore, I suppose.
Oh, there's always material that I'm looking for. I'd be interested to see what you have.
Yes, and
I mean, it would be impolite of me not to peruse with you being invited here and all.
Well, as always, likewise, I'm always interested in. Man, you're probably too good for scrapping these days, but if you've got goods, I'm always interested. But I do have some Intriguing goods, my friend, old friend. Straight from the far places, particularly beyond those far places. That's right, sir. Halcyon itself.
Septimus will look right over to Bruce.
And to what are you speaking?
It's legit. Looking at Bruce like almost like I forgot you're from that place.
Yeah. Why don't you show me?
And he kind of looks around like for a moment,
cool.
forgetting that he's like but he also kind of like looks specifically to you, Septimus, and then to your friends for the indication of like, yeah, it's fine. Like, you know, they may be, you know, law-abiding citizens, but they're okay with looking at some smuggled goods. So he kind of goes under the table, and clearly, of course, you can tell he has his own bag of holding. That he takes out this metal container, just plops it down on the table. Gentlemen, I recall on a wistful day not too long ago, some inquiries, if you will, from you all about specialized goods from Halcyon. And again, he looks around. And I recall telling you about the high risk of such goods that are not from a licensed seller. Well, I... Bam! And he slams on the table this, like, clearly forged license. That's just like Bruce, you can tell, like, the crest is wrong for the Bunkos apparatus union. Like, it's just, like, all wrong. And then he slides that away really quickly, as if he, like, knows, like, it's not good. And just wants to like quickly show it to you, and then he unbuckles the box and opens it up, and you can see, Bruce, you can tell these are modules. They are not only like modules, but you can also see electrum capacitors, which are the things you attach the modules to. He has like a pretty good, like, this is a good little showcase of Bunkos material.
Hey, Torcal, I'm gonna be real with you here.
Yeah.
You've got a good inventory.
And that, like, his smile gets wider when you say that, but then it also kind of like fades for a second as he like some of like the weight of the shit he would be in is starting to catch up to him. It's that good? Is that good?
Yeah, your ID, I know it's not. You're not actually licensed, and it's okay. It's okay. You don't need to prove to us anything. But wherever you're getting this,
well,
where
I
are you getting this?
was honest with Fyrn. I have a connection through the Daily Own brothers.
Okay, all right, that's fine. You can keep that connection. This is useful stuff. Can I actually? What are you pricing this as? What did you buy from the Daily Own brothers from?
He pulls it back and he is like, closes it. I might need to do a little research as he slowly puts it back in his bag of holding.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not that valuable, but it's
Bruce,
good stuff.
Suggest you know a professional forger that can upgrade his permit for discounted prices.
Look, your license.
Yeah.
For a discount, I can make it more legitimate. Discount on your goods is what I'm trying to say.
Give me a persuasion roll. I'm going to give you advantage because this is a clear need of his. Sort of a spectral assist from Jacquet.
Yeah,
And I'm
because if I
also-
was there,
Yeah.
it would happen.
I'm also giving myself guidance as well.
Yep.
Well, I think we were talking out loud as a group, like during
Yeah, but Jacquet's
breakfast.
way inside. Yeah, this is.
Well, I
Way
think Jacquet
inside.
had disguised himself and then left.
Oh yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
I'm on 24.
Okay, good. So you can tell his shoulders lose the tension, and he's like, "Is that bad?"
It's very noticeable. At least it's somebody from Halcyon. Yeah.
And that's exactly who you want to not notice.
Correct.
Yeah. It's,
So,
Bruce, is it being vulnerable here? Is it true that the hunters? He's referring to like the like law enforcement of Halcyon that hunts down people who sell illegal magic items and
Pinkertons.
retrieves them. The Pinkertons
yes,
of Halcyon.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Do they exist? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Is it true that they can kind of
They
just like
exist, especially
once
if
they
you-
identify it, they just teleport in and just crack your skull open with magic and take everything?
Yes, yeah. Especially if you hold goods of the bunkos. Which is why I actually, sorry, Fyrn. That is why I withheld that module sword for you. It was only for your own safety, because I knew what could have come if that word got spread.
Right. I'm not
It's
sure how
hot
you
goods.
holding it would make it any safer, but sure.
He concealed its magic, where you would have been probably waving it around haphazardly.
Thank you, Septimus, for explaining the obvious.
Hot goods. Okay, hot goods. All right. Well, here is the license if you'd wish to upgrade it for me, and I will happily give you all a 25% discount on these goods, because I also kind of want to get rid of them now. Also, it's good money.
Well, also, Torcal, getting a little closer. You got to be careful who you sell these to, too. The people that are going to own Bunkos weapons are usually not people to be safe around. We, as Iron and Mana, we deal with these people. We understand this area, so just be careful who you sell. And wherever you get these goods, you know, I will buy them and I'll keep them concealed. And they're going to be in the depths of Iron and Mana's safes, and the hunters are not going to find us. But you just be careful. That's all. And don't worry. I'll get this fixed for you.
Okay. All right. Good talk.
And does Bruce have like an idea of like how much these cost?
Yeah, you would be able to be transparent and above table. Like, it's similar to the pricings of magic items, in the sense that there are like uncommon, Bunkos apparatus, rare, very rare, and so on. Now as they go up in rarity, they typically scale though. So like, it's the kind of thing where if you get like a very rare Bunkos module, if you have more capacitors, electrum capacitors, that might be stronger. So it's the kind of thing where it's like, it might have a baseline very rare item ability that if you have 2 electrum capacitors attached to it, it is stronger, versus if you just attach it to 1. And then there also might be some that like require 2 electrum capacitors because it just needs that for the strength of it. So like, there's a lot of modularity, of course, but also like capacity for it to be really strong, but of course you would understand that like you can overload a module with too much electrum capacity, and there's always a risk if you're doubling, tripling up on the capacitors for it that it might overload it, and that can cause a explosion, that sort of thing. So anytime you're over capacitoring something, it's like wild magic where it comes with risks.
So before you go ahead and do your own research, can you tell me what you paid for each one of these?
Well, it depends. You know, I'm not an expert yet in bunkos, but from my understandings of the deal, I kind of jumped on it. I admit I may have overpaid, but I treated them similar to regular magic artificing trade. You know, it's something that seems of a rarity, costs a certain amount of silver, and you lowball them. So I might scrape my profits here might be razor thin, but
I just curious, because I know you're trying to make a profit here, Torcal.
well, it's the kind of thing. This is illegal goods, so it's always going to be a little bit more pricey than if you went to a bunko shop. Now, granted, access to a bunko shop is for the very few in Halcyon.
Correct. So, just yeah. So we'll keep that in mind because we want to make sure you get a profit too. You put an effort to make this happen. So, but at the same time, I know these are priced. So
You're the expert. I mean, yeah, you're the expert.
yes.
Well, I'm gonna set up some of my regular goods as he grabs the reacher grabber and scratches his back with it.
That's my man.
If any of these merchant shops have like discounted like weaponry or even just like basic adventuring tools like rope and torches, things that we could use to supply the fortress, Fyrn will, shell out some money to, get a little bit more provisions and support, some of the merchants.
Totally, yeah. Like there's like I would say for this time around, maybe the next time there will be a blacksmith, but there is someone who is like generally selling like toolkits. Like they specialize in having like adventuring kits, thieves tools for the inquiring minds, those sorts of things. Any kind of tool kit that comes in the typical equipment menus you could buy from this person.
Yeah, I would get a thieves kit for Rosario and maybe 2 adventuring kits for Ukal and Hona.
Yeah, totally.
And I think I would also like show them like out in the field, like near the training pits, I do have like a sectioned off area that was for blacksmithing, currently uninhabited, but there's basically just like an iron and an unlit kiln, like an anvil and an unlit kiln, and
Yeah.
just to show them that that's a possibility. If there's somebody with skills,
Totally.
maybe have them come here and work.
Yeah, and I'll say you have a small discount from them since you're offering them this space. So
Okay.
the kits, instead of costing the typical 25 silver, are only going to cost you 20 silver.
Okay, so that's 3 kits, 60 silver.
Mhm.
Very good.
Let's see. Okay. Jacques, is there anything particular you're doing about town, or just sort of carousing?
Just kind of carousing. I think he's gonna go in a in one of like his prepared disguises. It'll probably be like a bit of like LaRue, because that's what he has most available, but distinctly different so that no one confuses him. And we're just gonna hand wave it, because how can a tabaxi properly disguise himself when he's covered in fur?
You just gotta wear a baseball hat.
A skin suit?
And a
Oh, okay. And sunglasses, yeah.
Yeah, shave all your fur off.
Oh, that's right.
Duh.
But so he's primarily focused on the Widow's Ward, because that's where he assumes news of this would probably start. And he's just, kind of hanging around to see if he hears anyone talking about Jacques Touchard, and even if it's not about his assassination, he just wants to hear people talking about him.
Totally. Give me an investigation check.
Sure. So here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, anything I roll that's lower than a 9 automatically becomes a 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm minusing off the roll, does that come into play before or after
Great question.
uncanny talent?
So,
I was doing a little research, and it didn't seem that conclusive.
The way I read it, when it says the
Yeah.
target takes a -4 penalty to D20 tests, it is -4 from the whatever is the final roll after you've added the
Okay.
bonuses. Whoa.
Nice.
Wasn't me.
That wasn't me. I know that's crazy to believe.
It was your cat.
It was the spirit. Yeah, it was my cat. Yep. Lucifer as IDS. So that was actually a 23 total on investigation. So dirty 20.
Nice.
After the -3.
Yeah. So that's still pretty good. So like,
Thanks.
I mean, it's a good roll. It's not pretty good. It's good. So like you can definitely overhear things, people talking. Mainly it's about your article. It's starting as the day goes on, more people are you actually even like notice people at the market who are like just sitting at their stall reading the paper when they don't have that many people passing by. And there is like sort of this chatter about like the general vibe is like people are like, is this like you even hear like, I heard that Jacques Touchard and Mr. Graves are in cahoots together, and this is all part of a big show to get power here in Hyven. Another person's like, well, it's not a bad idea, representative democracy. I heard from his stories that that's kind of how Sakanto was run when they were up there. And then people are just talking about it. Like, you don't hear anyone talking about you and what happened last night. You do hear people, or at least like you being dead. That's what you don't hear about. People are absolutely talking about the lights in the sky. Some people are honestly like, yeah, I heard that they're Iron Manor, they're secretly building a Machina army underneath Hyven. Those caves you always hear about the smugglers going through. I hear if you go down there's a whole army of Machina, and that if Jacques Touchard gets his way, they're gonna come up and take over the place. A stormtrooper Machina all over the place, and other people.
I'm sorry, good sir. Where exactly did you hear that rumor?
Well, it's not exactly hard to hear these things. You go around the tavern, you have a few drinks, people see the blue lights in the sky, or you wander past the temple court, and you see the creepy blue lights over at the old ruined temple. I heard that somebody, I'm not going to tell you the name of the gent, but he used to go to the Revelers Tavern on occasion, and he said he saw people walking in to the temple with the dead body, walking out. Man was walking up, right? Now, I look at that as that man's a robot.
And you don't think that maybe a Rise Dead spell was cast? A fairly common clerical spell.
Yeah. It was 8 days in a row, my friend. No church in the world is offering that up that freely.
Maybe the Church of Machina is just truly a force unto itself.
You sound like one of them robots.
And you sound like a deranged lunatic. Good day, sir.
Little did he know he is one of them robots.
Little did he know that was actually Mr. Greaves.
But it's mostly pretty benign chatter right now.
Yeah.
But I guess the only thing that it kind of like you gain from it is that there's like fairly thorough talk about Iron and Mana. You know, like you guys knew, of course, people knew you, but people regularly talk about you. You're quite celebrities in Hyven, regardless of how people actually feel about you. You're still celebrities in that sense. And I'd say since you got a 20, the only thing that's a little bit more substantive that you hear is people talking about the Commodore and the Governor, where if anything, it mostly confirms what you already believe, which is just a general distaste for the Sodality as a whole. And a lot of people talking about how it's like, you know, the Governor promised elections. Like, I think like the real like linchpin of all of this is that when the Governor was here, he promised elections, and that's like what hasn't been substantiated since he left. So if anything, like you and Mr. Greaves are digging out of the same well of grievance. So like the best I can say for that is that like you are tapping the right heartstring with the things that you're saying.
Right.
As an alternative to Mr. Greaves. And of course, the other thing you would hear amongst this is the rumor that Iron and Man is opening its own market to compete with Mr. Greaves. You know, you hear people like Paul Cow's booth over there. He's been here every day for the last month. He's not even here. Not even here. He took the old adventuring kit salesman with him too. And that quilt salesman.
A quilt? I could use one of those. It's still a little drafty, and I'd sleep without a shirt on.
Hey, we can't get equipped in the Widow's Ward anymore. You gotta walk up to the Lighthouse District. And then you hear another person from like, I sell quilts too.
You don't get up to the Lighthouse District very often, do you?
Why would I go there? I'm protected here. Up there, AEC bastards might blow a fireball up my ass, trying to kill a few crumb of fists. Not to worry about that here. Sure, I have to deal with the Syndicate every now and then, but far safer.
Okay.
Would you like to buy one of my skewers?
No.
Wasting my time, that fella. It goes back to selling his rat skewers.
Not quite, we'll spend some time, but I imagine by like mid-afternoon, he just feels exhausted from his ordeal, and we'll head back up to the Lighthouse District.
Mm-hmm. During that time, I imagine the other three of you go to the Admiralty Court to visit the Academy and the Guard Captain.
Sounds good.
Okay.
A quick question I meant to ask way earlier. After the beam of light got rid of the shade, was there remains? Or did it completely just disappear? Okay.
Obliterated.
And the daggers are gone too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Do you guys stay together the entire time? Like go to the Guard Captain and then go to Sigil, or do you split off when you get there?
Bruce would probably split off and go to Sigil by himself.
Okay. Septimus, who do you go with, or do you have your own machinations?
He would Probably go with Sigil. Go see Sigil.
Okay.
He's a stand for Sigil.
Sigil Stan. All right.
Fyrn kind
Alrighty.
of misses Sigil. He hasn't seen him in a while.
Yeah. I mean, Fyrn, you can go with them too first, and then go to the guard
Mm.
captain.
Nah.
Okay. All right. So when the two of you get to the temple, or the academy, you can find Sigil easily enough because he's working with Lucas, so he's not really out and about as much. He's been kind of working heavily on your research that he wants to do for you, which he said he would have more complete tomorrow for you. But he probably actually has some things he can share with you now. But when you do get there, the thing you do notice is that those like clockwork servitors are like kind of like they're standing at the front door of the library instead of like wandering around. They don't really look like they have a lot of combat abilities, but they are sort of acting like guards. But recognizing you two, they immediately step aside and the big giant double doors open up to let you inside. It is much dimmer in here, but generally it looks all the same. You know, kind of similar to how like there wasn't really any like kerfuffle outside of Jacquette's room. There's not like books all over the place or anything knocked down like there was any kind of scuffle. You might even presume that the thing didn't have time. The monster didn't really have time to do much since it was mostly looking for Bruce, probably. But you would find Sigil in his office with Lucas in there. They're working on their own independent books right now, doing some research, taking vigorous notes. Bruce, Septimus. I am happy to see you.
Happy to see that you're alive and well as well.
Yes, I recognized the lights in the sky last night.
Oh, you did?
I appreciate what those lights did. I didn't have time to recognize or intervene with the intruder in time, but I understand what happened.
I was about to ask if you or anybody else here had witnessed it before it was terminated.
Not that I'm aware of.
Did you pick up where the lights were centralized?
Where the lights were centralized?
Yeah, where it took out the being?
Yes, it seemed as though it was trying to make its way into the lower level where you usually stay. Of course, Bruce, it couldn't bypass my own defenses. It seemed to be trying, and in the midst of it trying, it was obliterated. It's the only way that I even knew there was an intruder, truthfully, was when it started to pry at my own defenses.
Okay. But you understood what it was somehow. Also,
The creature?
correct.
Well, I have a fair understanding of every creature that steps foot in my halls.
Were you able to glean enough information of the creature to recognize its origin, possibly?
Oh yes, it was very fascinating, given the research you have me doing. Creature, of course, was fiendish and of the hells.
Okay.
Shadow demons
Whoa.
are a type of demon that is particularly nefarious, hovering in sort of a in-between space between demon and devil. I should actually clarify it. This creature seemed to be more on the demonic alignment than devilish, if you understand the dynamics of the hells, which if you don't, there's eons of history there of war between devils and demons, although they are in essence the same type of creature. But the devils won their war with the demons and imprisoned them within the abyss, which is the large celestial body that the hells orbit around out in the cosmos. You know.
Oh. And I know
Well-
Alphas.
Oh yes, yes. It's in the notes that we reviewed the other day when you visited.
Right.
We didn't get to it, but it's in there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what can you tell us about this demon? Where does
Shadow?
it come from? Who could have created it?
Demons and devils have a particular binding to their plane of existence, if you can call it that. It's more of like a demi-plane than the material plane. It's very difficult to extract one of these demons from the abyss. Very difficult to control them. They're much more chaotic than, much more wild, similar to the elements, really, except they have more maliciousness in their intent than an element does. They're less neutral. I could study the shadows a bit more in my study of the hells, but they're likely aligned to a certain didact, as they call them. In my research, there's a pretty sophisticated structure to the hells, separated into these what they call tabernacles with particular domains. So I don't know exactly how the demons fit into this, but it is curious, demons versus devils. And he kind of like lays out a map on the table. He unscrolls a map of Aldhalor. The last known time where devils and demons were aligned against a single foe was in the Morrisia conflict. They aligned against the Wayward One. Well, really against everybody. Particularly what I'm reading here, the dominant empire of the time, sort of ancestor of the Halcyon, actually. But look at these markings on the map. Here, 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 and there's several here. There's dozens of them. Particularly wherever they are is kind of like some kind of like caldera has formed. These are hell gates that burst through the material plane during the Morrisia conflict. The reason I bring it up is most of the research into the hells comes from accounts of these hell gates and these seneschals leading forces out of these gates. Each of these gates is likely aligned with a sphere of hell. Bruce, you might recognize them. And he points to Halcyon. There's one right in the waters right outside of Halcyon. In the lake.
Where?
And this is where something I've not ever told you, that Halcyon is on a lake, in a caldera.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
in the waters of the lake. It's a remnant of an invasion.
You have a more detailed map of Halcyon? Can you point to it?
Of Halcyon itself, I would need to acquire that. I don't have one on hand. City map, if you wish, or a localized regional map. I only have this larger map, at least with the markings of the hell gates that I've been able to identify. They're all over the continent.
And do you have any idea how to close them completely?
Well, arguably they
Remember
are
opening back
closed,
up?
but I don't know if they're locked forever.
That's what my question was. Okay.
The aftermath of the Morrisia conflict saw, Halcyon is formed of the ashes of the Alumno Republic, which was formed in the ashes of the Alumno Kingdom, which was formed as a coalition of survivors of the Morrisia conflict, unifying against remnant devils and demons.
Slow down.
Okay.
So
Well,
what does this have to do with us being attacked by something from this place?
I'm not
well, it
sure
might be a
yet,
devil.
but clearly
The
there's
devil?
a hellish, fiendish involvement.
Mr. Greaves might actually be a devil.
Said he used fiendish magic on Jacquette. He may not be a devil. He might be bound
His
to one,
ties.
serving one. You have maybe a similar relationship as your friend Saskia to her sea witch.
So Ro would be a devil too.
Why would Ro so blatantly attack us like this? He's wanted us to join him.
Well, Ro, I didn't say Ro would do this. No, but he could have. I don't know. But
All the more reason for us to learn more about these hells and about the seneschal I had mentioned to you.
The reason I bring it up is that if you have this ability or this information about this, did you reveal to Sigil that you had a document with the true name of this devil?
I did.
Okay. This is, if there's an understanding in the hells of who's responsible for what, this devil that you might bind may know if Mr. Greaves has a direct relationship with another devil. Or is a devil. And it makes you think back to the little devilish accountant who came in investigating into your place about an illegal act being created.
oh, that Fyrn had an interaction with.
Yeah, the fear not, meaning that there's like hell is heavily audited.
Okay.
I'm still doing research, but I figured, given the nature of these attacks on you, but also I just think it's fascinating. A continental invasion, sophisticated like this. It's surprising they didn't win the war if it wasn't, I imagine, for the Wayward One. Or the other gods, of course.
Well, I would like to assist in more research going forward. For safety reasons, I might head back with Septimus and Fyrn and stay in the Lighthouse District until I figure out a way to come here by myself. If we decide to, we need more time to gather information. But you know how to contact me if you can get more information or have learned anything new, I should say.
He gives you a nod and says he'll continue the research. As you turn to leave, he does stop you again. Wait. Demons and devils don't die on the material plane. Their demon soul is sent back to the hells to reorient itself. You may have destroyed the material form of the shadow demon, but you did not kill it. The only way to kill a demon or a devil in the material plane is if it is bound to the material plane. Otherwise, it just reforms itself in the hells or the abyss.
Taking a glance at Septimus, And then back
Looking
at Sigil.
and, yeah. Like, Well, then we have so much to discuss and think about.
Looking at Septimus, did Fyrn ever talk to you about binding a devil or demon to the material plane?
Well, I believe the
So-
skin-bound book that he had gave some insight into binding devils.
Correct, but can any of us perform?
Well,
Such-
outside of using his book, I may be able to help in binding a demon to our plane.
It's curious, isn't it? Given the rituals that you described in that encounter, why a demon or a devil would give up their immortality to come here.
Must
Do
be
you have any
something
ideas of why?
truly unsettling happening in the hells.
I have some ideas, but I need to keep working. Focus them.
No, thank you, Sigil. I'll let you return to your research.
Of course. Good luck.
And let me know if you need my assistance.
Always appreciated, Bruce, if you can offer it. You have the circle. You know, you just have to go home on your own, but always teleport here.
Thank you. That's right.
I have work to do.
On our way out, Bruce will look at Septimus. Yeah, I've been going back to your house every so often. Just leave.
Oh. Well,
I fixed up the place a little bit. It's nice. It's well kept. Don't worry. You know, I didn't make a mess of it.
serves your purpose more to have someone slumbering at night there than it is to be empty.
And if you need to go back, I could talk to Sigil about and twist his arm maybe about using his teleportation circle. If you feel the need to go back, that is.
Thank you, Bruce.
Actually, getting there is easy. I could do that for you guys whenever you need me to. It's a matter of coming back without the carriage. Not the cart. No. We don't have a cart. We have a carriage.
The cart, of course.
You mean the wagon?
Being two bathrooms?
Yeah.
But while this is going on across the district, Fyrn, in the Commodore's office building, you get to meet with the captain of the guard.
Is Doyle still working the front desk?
Doyle's not there. One of the pages is. But you don't need to go up to them because the captain of the guard is actually already waiting for you.
Oh, cool.
It is a dwarven woman. She looks older, even for a dwarf. She has very sun leathered face from living in a sunny place like this. She's an old mountain dwarf, long wavy hair with these sort of almost beady black eyes, rough skin from the sun, with a very stout, beefy build, as she is smoking a pipe, waiting in the lobby for you in her armor, with one guard standing watch over her as she would see you come in and go, White Eye, I presume?
Captain, how may I address you?
You can call me Captain Underfury. Kamal Underfury.
Tra-la-la. Sure somebody would get that. No? Okay, look up your kids' books. Okay, maybe you just don't approve. That's fine too.
I was sad to meet you here today.
Right. Thanks for making some time. I spoke to Emile Ducant yesterday, and he said that he was interested in me taking a look around, just seeing where you stand, with today's political climate, and just to basically be an advisor, make sure the people of this town are safe, including those in the Admiralty Court. I'm not saying you're not doing your job correctly. I'm just curious on how you run things around here.
I've heard about your playing sheriff in the lower city. But commendable as it is, it's quite a den of rats down there. We're paid to protect the Admiralty Court, not Hyven.
But you must understand that Admiralty Court is part of Hyven. If you plan on truly keeping them safe, wouldn't you want to secure the areas around it?
From a strategic point, yes. If we were a regular city and interconnected, but the Admiralty Court is fairly self-sufficient. It's a nuisance. Strategically, I don't have enough soldiers to patrol the entire city of Hyven.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, there are other ways to support those, Hyven, or, make your people feel a little bit more safe. Perhaps, well, I won't get too far into it. I'm more curious about, what you plan to do about that event that happened 2 days ago with the mob outside of your gates. Were you aware of that event?
Of course I was aware of it. It was foolish for my soldiers to even leave the gates to form that line. But they wouldn't. Perhaps this answers your question about the political leanings, but some of them at first wanted to hear what the people had to say. But of course it got out of hand and they had to thank the gods for iron and mana. Jacques Touchard. Otherwise I fear what would have happened. You see, my gods, while yes, we've recruited sometimes from veterans of other wars, they don't really see a lot of combat. Some of the old timers, veterans of the northern wars, in the far places. Not all of the alumno Defiance is in an underground gang Some of them sought good, prideful work, something they could be proud of. So those veterans have seen real fight battle. And most of my gods are the same as the people who are outside the gates. Some of them live down on High Road.
Makes perfect sense. They need the money and they take whatever opportunity they can get. It's a noble cause, although they might be looked down upon by others in Hyven. They're doing what they need to do to live nobly. I could respect that. But can you trust them? You say they might be green, but there's a difference between, a rookie and a trader.
Coin is quite a loud motivator. Some of the guards from High Road exposed a bit more to the rest of the city. But they're also the better fighters, which could be a problem. Some of the veterans might look across the Undercity and see some Alumno Defiance brigand hired by some private merchant and see a comrade from old days. Their allegiances are just as complicated as this lower city.
And where do your allegiances lie?
My allegiances? They lie in who's paying me. And, I have an old-fashioned view of order. So, I do respect strength. Strength in order, though. I don't care for those rabble-rousers in the lower city. Even your friend. You, though. You're trying to do things right. Force. For good.
I'm glad you see it that way. I think that if we work together in the future, we could be of great help to each other.
So long as I have a guard to even protect this district. The more there's riots outside, the more rowdy the lower city becomes, the more those green guards get yellow-bellied.
I will work on that, but for now you need to do your best to make sure those under your command are well trained and disciplined. They might be more inclined to stay honorable and interested if they feel confident about their chances. We don't want to put extra pressure from the inside, and this way we can keep them close. If we find any bad eggs, we could root them out quickly if we pay close attention to them. I do a training with my guards in the Lighthouse District early in the mornings. If you'd like, afterwards, I could bring some men who are willing down here, and we can have our own training. You can lead, and I will monitor, and I could get to know your men a little better. Perhaps whip them into shape.
That could be helpful. I think I could agree to that.
Good. Emil is a good man. He'll keep paying you, and we'll do what we can do. We'll do the best we can to keep your people safe, both inside and outside of your walls.
Yeah. He is a good man. He's a good man. Soft hands. Very soft hands.
Yes. He's a bit of a pestle pusher.
But I do like it. I kind of like it.
I have many friends, even in my party, that are like that. Somehow, they make their way in this world. I must say, although I have been using force to prove my strength in this town, it's my friends who have been taking a soft approach that I think might be making even more change than I am.
It's not my way, but I can admire that. It's what I admire in Ducant to a certain extent. And she kind of like waves her hands up. She's definitely very dismissive of like pencil pushing and the softer approach. Although she does seem infatuated with Ducant's soft hands. But yeah, she seems pretty amenable though to working with you.
Great. Yeah, I believe we'll shoot the shit a little bit more.
Mhm.
You know, maybe I'll offer her a drink or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll take a short tour of the walls to make
Mhm.
sure everything's stable. There's no like weaknesses in structure. Or
Yeah, I
anything
mean
like
it's
that.
certainly like Fyrn, for a moment you would definitely like be you would possibly you decide how Fyrn would feel, but it could be overwhelming because it's so much bigger than your fort. Like what the
Right.
defenses here are, they're like you were like at first like maybe feeling pretty good about it, and then like wow, there's a lot of real estate to defend. Now, granted, it's on this craggy bluff, that is has one entrance, so it is like a fairly formidable defense and bastion, but it's a huge district up
Mhm.
here. And it's a lot of walls for only 200 soldiers.
I speak to her about tactics, trying to look like you have more men than you do, that sort of thing. Which might sound silly to her because I'm used to, a
Yeah,
different kind of warfare
because
than
you don't come from
street-
siege warfare. You come from like pitched battles and like raiding that requires like a different type of strategy and a different type of psychological warfare.
Yeah, so I feel like mostly Fyrn would just be continuing to rant on about, keeping everybody to a strict schedule and discipline, and that's how you build character and strength, sort of thing. He might also ask for any maps that they have to see if there's any like other weak points, such as like underground paths. We've seen it in other parts of the city. We want to make sure that everything's secure.
Yeah.
And he would also say, before he leaves, if there's ever a time that you find yourself on the other side of the wall, the lighthouse fort's doors are open to you and your men.
Well, an awful lot of city between here and there.
Perhaps, but maybe someday you'll need to take me up on that offer, and just know that we're here for you.
It was a pleasure meeting you, White Eye, and I hope that I don't ever have to take you up on that offer.
I wish so that much as well.
Mhm.
I'll see you tomorrow morning for training.
She gives you a nod and stands sort of firm and turns heel and walks away with her guards. And you can rejoin Septimus and Bruce to head back together. Unless there's something else you guys want to do in the Admiralty Court. Okay. Obviously we won't be able to get to it tonight, but Septimus, is there something that you wanted to start? Because you said you had something you wanted to do. Or is it something I'll wait for the next day or following day?
We got a long rest, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Divine Intervention.
Mhm.
Hallow.
What level spell is Hallow?
It's a 5th level spell.
Okay, so it would work.
Just want to make sure.
And it would just take you 24 hours.
It is. It's on. Yeah, it's on the list. It's on
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because it's 5th level or lower cleric spells, right? That you can cast,
yes.
and you don't need the materials. So yeah, absolutely. You're just gonna be basically like holed up in your. Are you
just
casting
like
it at the
Zen's-
temple, or
Yes.
at okay? So yeah, so you can definitely do that. You're just gonna have to be.
See, this is a difficult thing. You know what? Septimus would do it at the lighthouse
Okay.
because it's going to be a neutral ground for this upcoming thing, and we're getting vendors coming in there, and it's housing more people. So I feel like that'd be a better call.
What?
I think it's a stress to Fyrn to let him concentrate throughout the entire 24 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you could definitely do that. Do you know which of the extra effects you want to pick?
I haven't
You
fully
can take the
decided.
week
I
to
was
think
gonna.
about it.
I was gonna pick daylight, but that was when I was still thinking about my temple. But I'll take the week to think.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, you'll get that extra effect, and you just have to make sure that you don't get disrupted for the 24 hours.
Mhm.
So we'll say that
Yeah,
you can begin that
And is-
24 hours.
Is
I would
Fyrn
say I
technically
would-
Fey?
No, Fyrn is humanoid. Even though, despite the fiendish origin of tieflings, they count as humanoids.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Mhm.
That'd be hilarious if I bar him from coming in.
I would say
Uh,
that you'd probably not be disturbed if you went into like the private quarters area of my fortress, the area where the lighthouse used to be, sort of thing.
Whatever the most central point where we would hold up.
Would probably be the Great Hall
is-
then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is usually where there is the most people, though. It's where people eat, events are
Tell
held
him
there.
to shut it down for a day.
I guess so, yeah. I'll say that.
Or I guess scratch that. Where like the sleeping, like as long as the sleeping areas are within.
It's got a radius of 60 feet. That should cover the entire fort.
Yeah, just
He is a
wanna
level
make
2
sure.
fort though.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, he's got a big ass.
I don't know
fort.
how big a level 2 fort is size
doesn't really
wise, but it's 120
specify,
feet. It's
It looks
120
pretty
feet is pretty
pretty
big.
big. Yeah.
Radius.
Diameter.
That's a
60,
football.
60-foot radius.
Right. What did I say?
You said 120 radius.
Oh.
I always forget radius versus diameter.
big. Radius is half.
Kind of.
And you said it's a 60-foot radius. So then
Yeah.
then he's right. It covers 120 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty massive.
Okay.
I'd
yeah.
say that.
I'm just.
I would
So
I'm
imagine
trying
it
to take some
probably
forethought
doesn't.
into it.
it probably doesn't cover the walls of the fortress, but all the interior parts would probably be
It's
covered.
fine.
Yeah, I think also in our heads we picture Fyrn's fort as being like a massive castle when it's still a fort as opposed to a.
Right.
So I think it's more like a military fort than like a massive castle.
Correct.
So this would definitely, I'll say, cover the whole fort.
Okay, very good.
You just
If I
gotta,
successfully do it.
yeah, you just gotta sit in the middle of the fort.
Like, Fyrn,
Yeah,
please. Shush.
One day I'll have a, instead of having dinner in the mess hall, we'll have like a special day where it's like a giant fire pit outdoors, and like invite the town, and like it's a little cold, so people are just like warming themselves there, but also there's like weenies on sticks and stuff.
Weenies on sticks.
Just a big bonfire in the middle.
It's actually really funny if it's like you invite a bunch of people to like the Great Hall after you've cast this, and just like see who can't walk in. And you're like, oh, they're the devils in the town. That's a good way to try to test if Mr. Greaves is a devil.
Yeah, just be like, yeah, the bathroom's this way, and then everybody has to go.
Anyway, so Septimus begins his ritual to hollow the fort. You will kind of come back together at the fort after your daily tasks and late afternoon tasks. And I think that's where we'll end tonight. And pick up. Well, next week we'll most likely be doing the Saskia arc, but once
Come back for another episode of Seppi and the crew.
Little Seppi. Little Giuseppe. So yeah. All right, we'll pick up there either next week or whenever we jump back into the main campaign, see where we are with the Saskia side quest. Because it would be fun to bring Sass back into this chaotic mess sooner rather than later.
Mr. Greaves vignette.
You want a Mr. Greaves vignette?
Always.
It's funny that you say that because I actually did have one prepared. But it's late, so I will start the next session of this with the Mr. Greaves vignette that I had planned. But it's really late. Or getting late. So that's it for us tonight, friends. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for hanging out with us. We will catch you all on the internet. Bye.
Night.